Hello and welcome to the Sonic Board podcast. I'm your host, DeoxysPrime, and joining me today we got Funk.
Hello.
We got Matt.
Hello.
And we got Colin.
Video game.
That's right, Colin. This is our somewhat annual E3 podcast. We didn't do one last year because no one wanted to do one, but you guys wanted to do one this year, so we're doing it.
I mean, in the barest sense of the word "want."
Okay, Colin really wanted to do it, and Matt really wanted to do it. You're just kind of here to fill out the roster.
Yeah, you can't have a slim podcast. It's not going to happen. So you gotta round it out.
Not today. So we should probably start 1 week ago today, when EA held their press conference, and it was a press conference.
I mean, does anybody have memory reaching that far back?
Yeah, not much, but go ahead,
Shocking. Shocking. I never knew that there was an actual esports scene for stuff like FIFA and Madden.
Oh my god.
There is, but it never gets publicity or anything like that.
Yeah, apparently they had to have been zooming way into those crowds they were showing to make them seem as big as possible. Because I can't imagine anyone who would attend a FIFA event. Additionally, how many people watching an EA conference are even interested? I mean, hold up. How many people interested in FIFA would watch an EA conference?
Oh, man. There's not a big cross section of people.
Yeah,
here.
who'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know what E3 is, and I love FIFA."
I mean, we do go through this every year. They have their sports segment.
Yeah,
this year they focused on giving all their sports games a big story mode.
Yeah, that was
No.
it was very cute. But when they do these things for like investors and whatnot, because you definitely want to showcase their sports games because they sell really well. But for me, it seems like a bit of mixed messages because those people aren't really going to care about this esports crap.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who might care aren't going to watch E3, like you said. So it was just baffling to sit through.
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but they actually had like a simulcasted press conference in Europe at the same time where they were showing the FIFA stuff, and those people, the Europeans, were into it. But
Well,
wait, they were into soccer? Are you kidding me?
You're marketing it to the wrong crowd on this side of the ocean.
I mean, isn't FIFA like the highest selling PS4 game or something in Europe?
Most likely, they
I
sell
wouldn't
like
be.
fucking tons.
Pretty sure, yeah.
They sell 2,000 pounds worth of FIFA games. Unreal.
Didn't they sell Madden in Europe?
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
I know they used to have like the NFL used to have like a European football league, like of American football, but that's an old thing.
Fuck Madden. Fuck football. Fuck sports.
You love football.
Do I?
You quote that fucking football bit for the Dilbert video all the time.
Look, if real football was anywhere near as entertaining, we'd have a whole nother thing entirely. Not the case. Much as I might want that to be true.
Were you entertained then by Need for Speed?
Do you
Payback?
even know the rules of football?
Yeah, okay. I can
Oh
tell
my
you
God,
how
here
to
we
play
go.
football right now.
Oh god, no. Talk about Need for Speed, Steve.
Ask me about being offsides.
Have you ever gotten into that argument with someone about whether it's offside or offsides?
No, that
'Cause let me
sounds
tell
like a
you,
great way to spend my time.
The people,
Oh my God.
the people,
Video
who-
games.
the people who are very insistent about it being offside, which is technically correct, they get so livid when you say offsides. So just keep that in mind when you're talking to someone who likes sports.
Colossus? Unreal.
Well, if you don't like sports, they had cars, I guess.
Cars
They
are
had-
basically sports in the worst way.
They had constant slow-mo every time a car got wrecked. And I really hope that That doesn't happen every single time you wreck a car in that game.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure that's their big feature.
I brought this up while we were watching it, and they did that in a previous game in Burnout, which is not the same series, obviously, but in Burnout, anytime it was a very arcadey game, and it's like a street racer, and anytime you like hit a car that it would go flying away, like go off the road, crash in some spectacular, unrealistic way, it slowed down like that. And for the duration of the time I played the game, it was very entertaining. Whether or not
how long
that's
did you
gonna
play
hold
the game?
I mean, a good like 15 hours, but it was 15 hours
okay.
of 15-year-old me. So, what is that worth? Probably not much. But I just, in concept, I don't think it's an inherently flawed thing to have that kind of spectacle and filmic feel.
Filmic.
I don't know. I feel like that would break up the action constantly in like a single-player story mission like that, where there are a ton of cars around you.
It's not. My recollection of it is that it's not as disruptive as it might appear at first blush.
All right. I mean, I'm not buying the game.
Oh, Colin fucking love
Sorry, you couldn't win me over.
I don't think you guys are buying any game from that conference.
What? Hold up. There was one.
Are you actually going to buy the Prison Break game?
The A Way Out actually looked kind of interesting, and I like that you do have the option of couch co-op in the game. And it's
what a foreign concept in this year of 2017.
Yeah. But with cinematic games, and that's what this kind of looks like, A Way Out looks like. It looks like a cinematic game. I always enjoy them more when I play them with friends. Whereas if I play them by myself, I really don't get much out of them.
Right.
But
regale us with your tales of Uncharted.
God.
Whereas, but most cinematic games are single player, obviously. So I just thought the idea that I'll actually be able to play a cinematic game next to someone is pretty novel. As in, like, they play with me.
This is apparently directed by the same person who directed Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Which brother dies, Matt?
The older one.
The gay
There
one.
you go. Spoilers, everyone.
This was in 2013, so
Was that a good game?
Well, let me tell you, Funk. What's his face? Fuck. What's that guy's name who makes the YouTube videos about PC games and he always complains about FOV sliders?
Total Biscuit?
Total Biscuit.
Wow, I can't believe you got that from that.
But Total Biscuit said that it's his favorite game when it came out. So
High
about
praise
now?
indeed.
I don't know.
After the hype.
I don't know, but I mean, I played it. It was pretty good. It has a nice little gimmick to it.
Is the gimmick 70s era sideburns like with this game?
No, it's that you control two brothers over the course of the game.
No shit.
Yeah, no shit. But like you control them with like basically one half of the controller is one brother, the other half is the other controller. Is the other brother.
Are you supposed to hold hands with somebody and play it together?
No. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but
It's romantic.
It is.
basically
Right.
you control the two brothers, like the two sticks, and it's just a very interesting way to control and everything. I mean, it's not a very difficult game, but it was interesting.
And which brother dies again, Matt?
The older one.
That's right. Okay.
And the big like twist of the game at the end is that in order to like beat the final puzzle and progress and like get to the very end, to the ending, like the younger brother is alone and you have to like go across this like, I guess I forget exactly what it is, but basically you press the buttons that would normally be for the older brother, for the younger brother. And it's like,
that's huge.
that's like the big. I mean, it's clever. It's a clever game. It's made by Starbreeze.
And now no one here has any reason to play it
Exactly.
because you just spoiled everything.
Exactly. I mean, it's the best. It's the best eco game we've had in a long time.
What does that mean?
Starved for eco games, I guess.
I mean, The Last Guardian was a shit show.
Oh, that eco.
Yes.
I guess the dolphins echo, so I don't really know how I got confused there.
Anyway, there's a guy with a massive schnoz in this game, and that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
That was the first thing I believe you said once the game was on screen.
Yeah.
Look at that guy's schnoz.
So,
was there anything else in the E3 conference?
I mean, there's that game that I'm gonna buy, that I'm gonna have to buy for everyone else if I want anyone to play it with.
Is it Mirror's Edge 3?
No.
No, it's Battlefront 2.
I mean, that looks all right.
Hey, you know what else was a game that was at an EA conference that I was really hyped for that didn't end up being great?
What?
Mirror's Edge 2.
Oh, did you actually play it?
I did. I bought it on sale like over Christmas break, and it's okay, but it lost all the charm of the original game.
Oh, so it's not as good as the first game.
No.
I mean,
Steve,
that's to be expected.
If you want someone to play Battlefront 2 with, I can bust out my copy and my PlayStation, and we'll play together.
Unfortunately, the online for that game doesn't work anymore.
I was being facetious. Anyway.
If you want to play Star Wars Battlefront 2, you got to buy Star Wars Battlefront 2.
No colon. Yeah. So $170 later, they've learned their lesson, guys.
I bought the season pass for the first game.
Yep.
I'm part of the problem. I played like the first DLC pack, and then I didn't play any of the others because it was like at some point I realized I had my fill of the game. I had no one to play with, so I was just done with it.
And now you're really excited for the sequel.
The sequel looks like the game that the first game should have been.
I mean, it's a pretty radical departure because they're bringing back the class system that they got rid of.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You see, I did not actually watch the EA conference, so
a lot of
these things are new to me.
Big things. Class system is back. There is a story mode, and all the DLC is going to be free.
And it has prequel content because that's exactly what they showed during the conference. And
what
then people were
happened to
bitching
EA?
like, "Why would you show your big game with the prequel content?" It was because it's like it's the stuff that works best in a video game.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. What is going on with EA that they're suddenly doing like all this like non-Jewy shit? like they did the same thing with Titanfall 2. Like all of Titanfall 2's DLC is free as well.
Well, it's because they realized fucking it doesn't work for multiplayer games. You split your player base.
I guess so.
People probably caught on and stopped buying the DLC.
You didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. I made that mistake, but
I just wanted to throw that out there again, just so everybody knows.
Everyone knows.
But that didn't even look that fun.
For that.
What do you mean? It looks like Battlefront.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looks worse than I remember Battlefront being. Not that I had like a super great recollection of it.
I mean, we did just play on the 24-hour Hoth server, and that was about it.
I mean, I
played the game before we 24-hour Hoth.
I'm sure having random people and like YouTube celebrities constantly talking over the gameplay, telling you how awesome the game is.
Yeah, so
didn't help.
that was so the way they presented the game was they just had people shoutcast over a 30-minute multiplayer match, and it's like that. First of all, that's a horrible way to present any game. Second of all, Battlefront is definitely not an esports game.
No.
So presenting it like that was just a horrible decision.
I mean,
none of them even knew enough about the game.
What's the most exciting thing that they can even comment on during the fucking game? The phase?
Well, we do know from pictures of the teleprompter that Paul commented on the phase. That was about it.
But this is where it gets really interesting. It was like Frank was doing the commentary. This is where it gets really off the rails, guys. We swear.
This is where things really get crazy. Wait, what? Oh.
Funk, you fucking got my hopes up.
I do that a lot. I jumped the gun. But anyway.
We almost had another guest appear just now, in case you're wondering.
No, he's online. Let's see if he picks up. This is the big podcast moment of waiting for DL to answer the call.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't tell them who it is. Just let the surprise occur naturally.
I mean, it's not gonna be
like,
fucking Frank.
This is like the point. This is like the point in a sitcom where the door opens
and everybody starts clapping.
Pops in, and it's like, yeah.
Is DL just Kramer?
Well, he's free to join the call whenever he wants, but we'll move on. I don't think there was really anything else at that conference that we're talking about.
Actually, there was one thing.
Really?
Yeah. There was that one guy who, after Star Wars Battlefront was done, had a very muted reaction to it, and then remembered he was being paid to be there.
One of the casters, you mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's okay.
I totally forgot about
great.
that.
That's the kind of thing that E3 dreams are made of.
Not I don't know if you guys caught it, but like one of the presenters during the Microsoft conference accidentally said the word Xbone.
Yeah. He almost said X. He caught himself at the very last second.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Someone's getting fired.
The Xbone X. It sounds like one of those like old, shitty early 2000s gamer tags people would have. XXX Bone XXX.
The Xbone X legitimately sounds like a dildo.
Speaking of the Bone X, Microsoft was actually the next conference, so.
Oh, okay.
Masterful.
Who here is buying the Xbox One X?
No, not
the all-in-one entertainment system X.
I'm afraid not. It seems like they were throwing out the term exclusive very loosely at that conference.
Exclusive has lost all meaning.
Yes.
Thanks to Microsoft.
Perhaps that was their goal.
To devalue exclusives for the entire industry?
To taint the well. Because they don't have any.
It's especially about Microsoft because their exclusives aren't even exclusive to their console anymore because they're all on PC.
Is Microsoft just actually some cabal? This is unreal.
Oh my god.
So you see the corporations, they sit up in the buildings and they're all corporation-y.
In their ivory towers.
Well, they make money.
So I think what we all want to talk about is how excited we are to buy the new Porsche coming out this year.
The new 911, baby.
The 911 engine. Why is it called the 911?
They said something in that conference to the effect of the most powerful 911, and we started losing our shit.
Does the engine get so hot that it can melt steel beams?
And then from then on, it was pretty much downhill.
The thing about Xbox is there used to be a point in time where I actually cared about their conference because I had an Xbox console, but like 4 years after this new one came out, they've still yet to give me a single reason to buy their console.
Yeah.
So I kind of watch these out of obligation now, like I used to with Sony.
Yeah. If I ever want to play something that's exclusive to something Microsoft, I'd probably get a gaming PC.
Right. This is a great conference for people who have a PC because there were a lot of great PC games they showed there.
Yeah, they showed they showed in quotes the new Metro.
Yeah, that game looks great.
What part of the game did you see? Because I just saw a trailer.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It seemed rather scripted.
I mean, it's scripted, but it's a Metro game, and both of those have been great. So
yeah, I like those games.
I have no reason to not believe that this one's going to be not great. Whoops.
Well. Was that stupid? There was some zombie game. I'm trying to figure out if it was
State of Decay 2.
Is that the one where it's like build your fort and
Yeah. State of Decay.
So I commented on this when we were watching the trailer for that,
Oh, Funk remembers all his comments.
I do. I mean, after I said this, you're like, save it for the broadcast. And the trailer looked really bad because it was using the in-game, engine and models and graphics and stuff, and it just looked like complete crap because the animations weren't great. And while I was thinking that, I just realized that there's really just no way for people to win, because if they use their in-game stuff and it looks bad for a trailer because it's not how you're supposed to see it, it's going to look like shit. And then if they do like a pre-rendered trailer that's not gameplay, I'm just going to get mad at it for not being gameplay and just not representing the game. And there's really no winning, mostly because video games are fucking terrible. Not like now, just always.
Video games. I don't know. I don't think video games are in a bad state overall.
Well, it's like this E3 more than any other made me question are video games bad now, or are we just jaded assholes?
We're definitely a bit jaded.
I mean,
easy jaded.
I know I'm definitely jaded, but it's it's. I mean, we'll get to it later, but the Nintendo conference kind of like brought me back, and I was like, oh, video games aren't terrible now.
Every time.
It's just these other people just suck at it.
But even
that's the thing is that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Colin.
Okay, yeah, because Funk's talking about how these trailers look like shit. And that's because I think they're just poorly edited a lot of the time. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they're just poorly put together trailers. Like, you have these extended gameplay sequences that just look boring.
Like, let me tell you.
You have, just poorly cut together, poor music that for it. It just looks, they just make the games look boring. Yeah. There's not enough effort put into it.
Yeah, but that's also where they're trying to sell the game perhaps the most, you know?
But those things also appeal to a large percentage of people who are not us.
Yeah, that is true.
It works. It just doesn't work on us.
Like when they just see a zombie on the screen, they don't just roll their eyes.
Like, oh boy, I love The Walking Dead.
I mean, there's got to be something within the first 15 seconds of your trailer that does something different, right? That hooks us.
Well, it's like even Microsoft's own, this is a super video game, like Sea of Thieves. Like, that doesn't look interesting at all. Like people who play the alpha say it's fun, but I look at it, it's right. This is like a janky, early access free-to-play pirate game.
It doesn't look like a finished game, and it's not finished, but it doesn't...
But it's going to look like that when it's done.
Right. It doesn't look like it's in the state where you could show it to people.
No.
But the thing is that is a game that is different. You know, it's doing something novel, at least in the setting.
If you really, really want to role play as a pirate, that's a good game for you.
I mean, if I was playing that game...
play as a pirate every time I download anime.
If I was playing that game, all I would do is just dick other people over.
Oh, he's such a creeper.
Before we talk about the rest of the bad games, let's talk about the best game that was at that conference, which is the Dragon Ball Z fighting game.
That looked great. And I will probably never ever buy a fighting game because I'll never be good at them.
What about
Shut up. But that's really cool that people are hyped for that. Because if you look at the FGC at all, everyone's always talking about DBZ moments. And now they actually have a DBZ fighter to play.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
That's geared towards that audience.
They have a DBZ moment simulator now.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
Is that the kind of game that could be competitive?
That's exactly.
That's what they're going for. And I think there's going to be a group of people that are going to be turned off by this game, mostly normies, when they see that it's a DBZ fighter with a much smaller roster.
But it's still gonna have a decent sized one to be 3-on-3 though.
Yeah, I'm optimistically I'm gonna say 18 as the starting roster.
I would think it'd be over 20. It would have to be.
I don't know. This is Arc System Works, and they don't usually launch with big rosters for their first games even.
Maybe, but this also has built-in protection from being a big franchise at least.
Yeah, that's true. Also, I really hope Super Saiyan Blue is not in the game, and I have nothing against. That's not the one from my childhood. Nothing like that. I just think Super Saiyan Blue looks ugly, but they'll probably have.
You
It looks
can't
better than
have ugly characters in your fighting
better
game.
than Super Saiyan God.
I don't know about that. Super Saiyan God. The Super Saiyan Blue. It's certainly no Super Saiyan just base.
Is that the new name of it? Just
I don't know.
base?
Super Saiyan Juan, if you would.
Are these like different levels of Super Saiyan?
Have you ever watched DBZ?
Yes.
He's playing us. Watch out.
Yeah. There you go. Well, then we're not going to do this.
No, I have, but so the last I watched was with Boo, and they go to like 3, like I think at that point.
Yeah, and they forgot to draw eyebrows on that one.
So does it just go to Blue and God after that?
Well, yeah, okay, so GT had 4,
God.
but GT is not actually canon. So
That's a really shitty run, right?
Yeah, and so Toriyama did this movie, and this was the first one of the movies that he had worked on, or at least the first one he'd done in a million years. And this was supposed to be canon, actually canon to DBZ.
It was until it wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. And he introduced this new form called Super Saiyan God, which basically replaces Super Saiyan 4, and it looks just like normal Goku, but with red hair and red eyes. And even with that, he basically discards Super Saiyan God at the end of the movie and just says Goku's base Super Saiyan form can just do all the stuff Super Saiyan God can. And you could really tell that if there were any future things, his original plan here was no more transformations. But somebody saw dollar signs and said, people love the transformations, do another transformation in the next movie.
And so then they also gave Frieza one.
Yeah, they gave Frieza a transformation, which I don't hate the look of Golden Frieza, but I think the color scheme of the normal one.
The justification behind it, though, is fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
But you also forgot the best part, where it was called Super Saiyan Blue was originally called Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan.
Yes. and then they retconned it when they redid. They're now airing Dragon Ball Super, as you know, Funk, and that actually recapped the movies in the first 25 or so episodes.
Very badly done.
Yeah, so the movies were decanonized with much worse versions of themselves.
Wow, this sucks. Dragon Ball sucks.
That's our Dragon Ball history moment.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're out there and you think the Boo saga is better than the Cell saga, you can get out my face.
You have very strong opinions on this.
Yes. And that's all I've got to say
good.
about that.
Are there people who actually believe that? That seems very...
Mule.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who really like the Boo saga, and I don't understand why.
I think the Boo saga has its merits. I just think that it's too bullshit. There's too much just ass pulls going on. And Cell Saga kind of was... They had to change the direction several times.
Cell Saga has a lot of problems.
Yeah,
but...
the editor made Toriyama change the direction several times. But in terms of the direction that was changed, it was just who the current main villain was, right? And so that was always introduced as the next big twist, and everyone always liked the next villain more than the previous one. So it didn't really hurt the arc overall, in my opinion. Whereas Boo had twists that just sidelined the good guys that you wanted to see fight and do cool stuff. You know, Cell had like more definitive ending stuff in it, right? Like Vegeta's a dad now. Gohan gets the torch passed to him.
I mean,
right?
that was the whole point of the show from the first episode.
Krillin's got a waifu. Tien and Piccolo actually did things in the arc, right? They had like little moments. It was like a pretty satisfying conclusion.
Yeah,
right?
Yamcha was still there somewhere.
Yeah. So they originally he kind of planned to take it in a radically different direction after Cell, right? That's what it seemed like, and I would have been totally fine with that. But you know, obviously that's not how it worked out. Nothing wrong with Fat Boo though. We're talking about DBZ on this video game.
Remember when Goku and Piccolo got their fucking driving licenses?
Yeah, that was
what?
great.
Can you certify an alien to drive?
I mean, you came to California.
Heyo. Not gonna beat that joke tonight.
So back to E3. What did you guys think of Kang Simulator?
Oh God.
We?
The chat exploding may have been the third best thing from that E3.
I just love. I almost feel like Ubisoft did that on purpose.
No way.
Like they saw they saw this posting online and it's like, how do we make this viral?
We just have our first word be we.
Just have a picture of a pyramid. We.
It's honestly just better to think that they're blissfully unaware of it.
It is. That makes it kind of funnier, honestly.
So Assassin's Creed takes a year off, and it comes back looking exactly the same as it always has.
No, well, but they added Zelda stuff to it.
Now it has slow-mo when you pull out your bow in the air.
Now it has eagle vision.
Now your equipment has levels.
Now you can like shoot a bow and assume direct control of the arrow.
Nice Mass Effect meme.
He's really trying everything.
We're throwing out all the stops tonight, boys.
But yeah, it looks like trash. It's another fucking Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, you it's like a stealth game, but you throw your little hawk in the air and you just see everyone immediately.
you also kill people and then just leave them there in the middle of the fucking.
And then you have these, and I mean, don't meme at me for using the word, but you have these designated climbing areas, right?
Look, the way you said it is just inviting the memes. When you pause after designated, you can't put that on us.
Look, you have designated climbing areas that are very clearly the climbing places. And it's just, hold forward.
Yep.
And that's been a problem with the games for a while. There's because you're so restricted to certain paths on climbing, sometimes you're intended to go up a certain structure, but it's a kind of obtuse how you're supposed to climb it, so you just sit there just waggling the stick in all different directions until your guy finds something to grab onto.
I mean, the funny thing is, all that stuff felt like old hat a long time ago, but now with Zelda out there, it feels so much more outdated.
Yeah, when you put restrictive next to open world, that does not sound good at all.
Oh God. It is just very weird. Even Phantom Pain had this kind of stuff right, and that game's not even really that good of an open world game. It's a good game. It's just that it's it had no reason to be open world, and yet it's still doing this shit better than fucking Assassin's Creed,
which has been open world for a decade.
Right. I mean, I will say I've never actually played an Assassin's Creed game outside of 4, I think it was, the pirate one.
Mm.
I played that up to the part where it's in first person for some reason, and you're doing this walking simulator section. I'm just I don't have time for this.
I played 1, 2. There were 3 2s, and I played the first 2 2s in addition to 1.
The sad thing is, I know exactly what he's talking about.
See, I heard that 2 is supposedly the best one.
2 was the one I had the most fun with. It was, I wouldn't say it was a great game, and then immediately after 2, it really went down.
2 was the only one I've played, and after 10 minutes, I was I hate this.
I honestly can't blame you. But I watched the other day, there's actually a Donkey video on one of the Assassin's Creed games. And in it, he's just talking...
Funk loves Donkey.
Yeah. Yeah. And in it, he kind of highlights how much time is just spent walking behind somebody and tailing them or following them with or without their know-abouts. And it's just so boring. It happens so often in every game.
Yeah, he made that one video where he's basically just I think the video is literally just Assassin's Creed sucks.
Yeah. and it does. And the thing is, when they showed gameplay from this one, it looks like it played exactly the same. And yeah. it would need much larger of an overhaul to not have those same problems.
Yeah, honestly, the year off just feels like they only did it so they can get it out there without like a ton of bugs.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess so.
It's not really to change things up a lot. They like there's new stuff in there, but it's like the game is still the game that it's always been.
I'm sure the world is arbitrarily bigger.
Is it me, or does it seem like yearly franchises are kind of starting to die out a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No new ones have sprung up because there were like several that were all running concurrent to one another, and eventually people are going to get tired of those, and they did.
Yeah.
But nothing really came up to replace that.
There's still FIFA.
And
Well, I
there's
guess
still Madden.
I guess
Sports
there's
games are really
sports
the only
games.
thing that get away with it.
But there's still COD.
Is
That's true.
that still a yearly release?
Yeah, but they solved that by having 3 different studios make the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Like they made it. They changed things up a little bit, so now it's like
They've
kind of
been
different
on
feel.
the decline. They're still big stellars, but they're gonna bounce back huge this year.
Oh god, yeah, with that fucking World War II
Yeah.
game, which is really weird because they refuse. They're just not using the fucking swastika.
Wait, there's no swastikas in the game?
No.
Who did they think was fighting in World War II?
No, Funk, you don't understand. They're going for a realistic depiction of World War II here.
Oh, is this another one where they have like black soldiers and women soldiers? Or is that just the dice game?
Well, I know B got really triggered by the fact that apparently you can play as a female soldier in the multiplayer. In the multiplayer.
Just multiplayer. You can giggle to yourself because you can kill like a black Nazi.
Can we go back to a simpler time when these things didn't matter?
Actual World War II?
Oh my god.
So,
The only real question is ain't me gonna start playing?
No, that's what, Vietnam?
yeah.
Yeah, that is Vietnam. They literally did that in World at War.
Oh my god.
Like there's a part where you're like on a boat, like shooting at people in a turret, and then all of a sudden it's just like doo doo.
So before we move on from Microsoft, what does everyone think about BioWare's new game, Anthem?
Looks like a hodgepodge of a bunch of games that weren't good.
It looks like a Destiny clone, and my first thought is I wish these fucking Iron Man flying mechanics were in an actual Iron Man game.
I saw loot drops, and I saw the totally real, totally you're gonna see this all the time in the game. You're like biome interactions, right? Like a whole ecology of like the big monster coming out and fighting the little wolf people. Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's good. You're gonna see that all the time in the game. We designed a whole game around that.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I don't even really understand the premise of the game.
It's
Like,
Destiny.
Yeah,
That's his premise.
I guess it's just I just vaguely remember like people in a city and then they go out and put on metal suits and fly through the jungle and then shoot animals and that's
It
it.
certainly
yeah,
looks
you just-
pretty.
You kill things, you pick up loot, you do it all over again.
The problem
Yeah.
is that it's a Bioware game.
Right, so there's got to be some just soap opera shit going on.
There was
Maybe-
other stuff.
Maybe they discarded it. Who knows?
There was one other thing at the Microsoft conference.
That Code Vein game looks interesting. It's like anime Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't really see much of that either, right? Just
No, we
kind of an
didn't. I mean,
announcement.
there was just like a big like a lot of the games that they showed at the Microsoft conference. It was just like bam, 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 bam. Here's like
There was is Super Lucky's Tale of a
Yes.
definitive exclusive?
that was shown at Microsoft's conference. I forget if it was an exclusive or whatever, but that was one of the things they
It's
showed.
some kind of exclusive, whether it be console or fucking launch window exclusive or whatever bullshit.
Yeah.
But
There is that the Last Night game.
Oh
our
yeah,
game,
where the guy came up. Apparently, the developer for that made some like GamerGate comments back in 2014.
He made the most benign Gamergate comments you could possibly find, being like, "Yeah, these people are colluding." He didn't even say anything really. I don't even think he really said anything about women.
Yeah, and I guess somebody somewhere dug up some stuff on him.
He said, yeah, I think Anita Sarkeesian cherry picks.
Wow. How controversial.
Oh my god, he has to get up on stage and apologize.
Like he was and that was on the PC gaming show that he did that.
Yeah.
And it was this awful, most awkward thing ever. And it's like, dude, this is not the time.
Yeah.
Nor the place.
It's still enough to trigger NeoGAF and get you a 3,500 reply thread.
Oh God. But yeah, Colin, it does
Steve,
look
back me up here. Before I knew anything about the politics, I said this game looks cool, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like I don't care what the politics are in the game.
If I had an Xbox, I'd buy that game just to spite NeoGAF.
I mean, I won't lie. I do care. I do care about the politics.
To be fair, it looks like pixel shit, so you could probably play it on like any PC.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about politics and games. People are always like, people should be allowed to talk about their politics in games, unless it's politics I don't like.
No. It's fine for a game like Gone Home to exist or whatever, right?
Gone Home was
It's not a game I'd play because it's not up my alley. But the last night, I won't lie, might align with some of the things I think.
Okay, so real talk. Gone Home.
We just lose the 3 viewers that we ever had.
No, I don't care. Look, man, you should be allowed to be honest about that stuff and not have to go up on stage and apologize for it.
Did this guy actually get up on stage and apologize?
Yeah,
he did at the PC gaming show that none of us watched because it's the PC gaming show.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Real talk, though. Gone Home is not that bad of a game.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure isn't it just like a little lesbian romance story?
So, okay.
The point with Gone Home has never been that like this thing shouldn't exist or that it's bad.
Yeah, it's
just like if you want to hold this up as a proper video game, I think you're gonna get called out on it.
I mean,
I think it's fine to have arguments over what is or is not a video game. Just because something is like interactive doesn't necessarily.
I have no issue with Gone Home's existence whatsoever.
No.
Or whatever else. Whatever.
Thanks, Funk. I remember that now. But yeah. So. But yeah, like Gone Home. Basically, I mean, the core story of that game is that it's some like kind of lesbian gay romance that starts kind of blossoming, and you see the story through these like letters or something between these two girls. But there's like undertones to the story about this house, about how it was like owned by some like crazy cult guy, and how there's like dark undertones to the house, and how like apparently there's things that have to do with the occult and shit. And all of those things, like everything outside of the dumb gay lesbian romance stuff, is actually really interesting. And if the game was just about that, it would be signitigantly better. But no, you gotta have the gay stuff.
So it would have never gotten attention.
Just take the soundbite. Everyone listening, just take the soundbite of of Matt just saying dumb gay lesbian romance.
But yeah,
keep it, put it in a pocket.
But it's like that stuff is actually kind of interesting. It is a little annoying how it tries to portray this most likely very privileged, most likely white girl who lives with their parents, who are most likely very loving parents, as like a tortured soul who can't be with her lover for reasons, and so she runs off to him with them.
Wait, are these male lesbians?
No, this is before that time, Funk.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like it tries to portray their like relationship as almost like a tragic thing where it's like, oh, we can't be together, but it's dumb because it's like it's just stupid. It's really stupid.
So the game, from what I'm gathering, it doesn't really have like it doesn't have a message or anything, right? It's just some simple story.
Not really. I know. No. It's kind of just like about a lesbian couple. I almost said that was almost a fraudulent slip there. It's like a lesbian couple who. I almost said something much different. I almost said another.
We know. You have to say it.
Who, like, due to things like Christian parents, the other girl's parents are like super strict and like forcing her to go to like some military school or something, and then they run off together in the end. Like, I honestly, like, it's not a bad story.
Right.
It's just kind of stupid. I guess.
don't think many people who take umbrage with the game do so because of the story. I mean, maybe they do.
Because
I don't know.
It's Walking Simulator.
Right,
And
and more importantly, it was one of the first ones. Like, it wasn't the first one, but it was like right at the beginning of that trend, which is why I caught a lot of flack.
And I got like 9s and 10s from everybody, and everyone was like, "This game is not worth this." Also, you could beat it in like 90 minutes.
If you released that game today, it would the praise would be much more tempered, but so would the hate, I think.
I think so, yeah. And well, not from V. They would be like saying, "Oh, why? Like, this game is triggering my pole autism."
See, I don't even think V would comment on it because it would just be another, drop in the pan.
I guess so, maybe. Who knows? I do know that that it is directed by the same guy who directed BioShock 2, and for whatever reason, he came out and said that it is canon in the BioShock universe.
Does he get to make that call? Is that his decision?
Apparently.
He was just being cheeky.
I mean, I don't know. This was something.
Oh my god, that reminds me of something I saw today where fucking Pete Hines from Bethesda came out and clarified that Skyrim and Fallout do not take place in the same universe.
Thank God.
Well, okay. I mean, honestly, making that the case wouldn't really ruin the lore any more than they already have. So, thank you, Pete Hines.
Anyway,
before we move on to the Bethesda,
to
is there anything
conclude,
else from Microsoft you want to talk about?
It's okay when my politics do it.
Was there anything else at the show? At this show?
And there was Ori 2. There was Crackdown 3.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Ori is fucking fantastic. That game is great. So
is the Blind Forest also good?
Huh? But yeah, that game is actually really good. And I know that sequel is going to be really great too. So I'm super excited for that. But I mean, I'm going to get it on PC, so thanks, Microsoft.
I just want to say that Crackdown 3 is a game trapped in time.
I do kind of like that. It does look like a game that's just like a dumb early like Gen 7 game.
Yeah, but it still plays like it and looks like it.
And it apparently plays at 30 FPS on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Also,
amazing.
And the other thing about that game is when they announced it, their big thing was like, oh, wow, we got all these destructible environments. And it's like, they're only in the very separate multiplayer mode.
Oh, God.
Like, there's none of that in the single-player mode.
I just love that clip of Jeff Keighley talking with one of the developers on stream. And he's like, all right, so you got this new system, the Xbox One X. It's like the most powerful console ever. 4K, over 1 billion teraflops. It's got to be 60 FPS, right? And the guy's like, 30 FPS. And he's like, okay, 30 FPS.
Gotta stay positive. Gotta spin it.
Hey, maybe if they want...
It is funny, though, because you can tell that Jeff Keighley was, like, very noticeably like, oh, come on, man.
Maybe if they really need people to buy it, they can put a demo of Halo 6 in it.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's the only reason that Crackdown 1 sold at all. I'm like...
Crackdown 1 had some amount of fun in it.
But, like, that's the only reason that people bought that game, to find that out.
Yeah,
that's true. Does Jeff Keighley have any integrity?
I think so.
He's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, he seems like deep down a good guy, but just under layers of, I have to do this for my job.
He is very He is like apparently best friends with Kojima.
That's great.
I like. We forgot about that random Overwatch looking third person game where the
Did we?
Oh, when they brought out the
guy was
fucking
like,
bearded guy
and
who
here
yelled.
comes what's her face coming with the shot and the arrow and da 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 da. And it's like, what the fuck?
I just want to point out that guy's name was Jethro Tull, and he was the chief shoutcaster.
That was some vintage E3 stuff.
Yeah,
Like maybe 5 years ago, we'd get that at E3.
That was
it's not quite Robbie Drums tier, but it's getting there.
It was very because it was almost like for a second there, I just like kind of blacked out and teleported back to 2008. And then all of a sudden, like the screen dims, the guy's gone, and then oh wait, I'm back in 2017 again.
Just as soon as he appeared, he was gone.
It
like,
was
what
so
was that?
strange because the lead-in and the exit were so sudden. He just walked on, started shouting. The clip ended, and he walked off the stage, and they just went on to the next thing. It was unreal. It was otherworldly.
Also, the game looked fucking bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Oh my god.
Also, there was no reason he had to be there, and they couldn't have that playing in the trailer. Because he just stood there in like a t-shirt looking awkward.
All right, Bethesda.
Oh boy.
Aren't you glad we stayed up to midnight to watch that fucking shit?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Colin didn't have to. But
No, I
we
did not.
I was actually very relieved to have stayed up that late. And coming out of it, at least, I'm so very relieved that I could only describe my reaction to this as VR.
So, the only notable thing they showed in that conference was the new Wolfenstein game, which, you know, for a lot of people, that's
What's the name of that game again?
huh?
What was the name of that game again, Matt?
Fuck you. Wolfenstein. We had this fucking like today when we went to breakfast. I know now where I get this because my dad said the same thing. He says he pronounces wolf the same way as I do. Now I know
Well,
where I get it. I know it's wolf, but Wolfenstein. They announced a new one, and it's like, okay, that's good for a lot of people who actually like that game, because there are a lot of people who actually like that game.
Yeah, they've amped up the camp with this one, seemingly.
Yeah, there's
whereas
there's like Iron Man suits, people getting high and seeing cartoon lizards.
Yeah, it was a good trailer. I do think it was a good trailer, and I say that as someone who really did not like the previous Wolfenstein. Because
the game
previous...
had, okay.
No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say that the previous game had a lot of good personality to it, I think.
It almost did. It teetered for me. It felt like they kind of had the surface level of that camp, right? But the whole tone of the game felt so joyless to me.
Yeah, I can see that. It's almost like it felt like it was trying to be a Quentin Tarantino kind of thing, but it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough camp. There wasn't enough like silliness to it. It took itself way too seriously. Is really the issue.
Yeah, I didn't know if it wanted it when it wanted to be serious and when it didn't.
Yeah,
or if the whole thing was just ironic. And I don't think it was.
No. It's very weird.
It was a little all over the place for me.
I mean, and the gameplay itself is just really boring.
Oh my god. Throwing mad shade.
Do you like shooting at massive bullet sponge enemies for 15 hours? Well, there you go. Have fun.
From 100 feet away because you have hit scan weapons and they have hit scan weapons.
Yeah, that's the worst. Especially it doesn't help when the PC version of the game has terrible audio. What's it called? I forget what it's called, but like it has really bad audio problems on PC. At least it did for me, where like you can't tell where enemies are shooting you. So you'll like pop up and like be shooting enemies and shit, and it's like, oh, all of a sudden I only have 20 health, and I don't know why. And then this.
Did you play on the spooky BJ Blazkowicz settings?
What's that?
No, I'm just messing around because he gets spookier looking as you go up to higher difficulties.
I mean, I do like it's so. That game was like one of the biggest disappointments for me because I was actually really interested and was really looking forward to that game back when it was coming out. And then everybody else was saying, "Oh, this like when that game was like first coming out, everybody else was saying it didn't look good. I was like, this looks really great." And then when it came out, everyone was like, "This game's really great," and I'm like, "This game's shit."
Truly a lifelong contrarian.
I guess everyone was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, at least Bethesda kind of cured that with.
Oh my god.
What?
Did you hear that?
That was
Yeah.
That was. I don't know what that was, but
Cut the tape.
at least they cured that with Doom, and they actually surpassed.
Doom is like the polar opposite of Wolfenstein.
The worst is the people who are saying like how the new Wolfenstein games are like super, like, oh, they're so old school. But it's like, no. I mean, if Half-Life 2 is old school to you, maybe. If just the fact that you have health packs and armor is enough to make a game old school to you, okay, sure. But I mean, you run like a guy from Call of Duty, and you shoot guns that feel like they're from Call of Duty, and it's hit scan. Also. And meanwhile, you have Doom, where it's like you're actually pretty fast. Guns are pretty good.
You can jump.
Like Doom is like it feels like an actual evolution from the original Doom, and it really does feel like a good combination of old and new. Although I still hate
repetitive, but yeah,
if a bit repetitive. I still hate the walk into the room and fight an army, fight a horde until it's over, and then go into the next room and fight another horde thing. But
say Matt,
what?
Do you know what else is a good combination of old and new?
What?
Skyrim VR.
Oh my god!
Listen. So
Fallout 4 VR.
They're trying the paid mod thing again, right?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh yeah, they just slipped that in there.
Yeah,
halfway
they did.
Through the conference.
They're trying to disguise it as something else. It really is. Their only strategy with the paid mod thing is just they have less endurance than us, and we're going to win eventually. And I hate it because it's probably true.
Yeah.
People just because they aren't getting paid, as I say, the fans aren't getting paid to be outraged about paid mods, right?
Right.
Whereas Bethesda stands to make a lot of money off it.
Exactly.
So the fans just aren't going to be motivated if you just keep so long as you just keep bringing it back in a different way, new coat of paint every time. They're going to fail eventually. They're going to break through.
Yeah.
I hate it.
But at least you can play with Link's clothes in Skyrim.
At least you could look even worse in Skyrim. You can look like a freaking tard. I don't like that. Just looks silly.
You can look like an actual weeaboo in game without any mods or anything. You just put down the amiibo and you're a weeaboo.
Well, at least now you can finally play as female Link. But yeah, that was very strange. And seeing the motion controls is very strange. Seeing the VR controls was even stranger.
Was that conference just the biggest waste of time?
It was.
that
That was.
E3 has ever had?
Probably.
I know. We'll probably get to it with. Sorry. I know we'll probably get to it with Sony, but Steve, you're probably the biggest proponent of VR here.
The idea of VR, yes.
Yeah. But
like the current implementation of what VR isn't quite there yet.
I feel like we're at that state where they need to take their foot off the pedal here.
Yeah.
People have been teased with VR and they're interested, but you're not improving fast enough with the products you're putting out.
Yeah. Like just seeing that Doom VR thing and just watching the guy just teleporting to different locations and shooting people, it's like this doesn't look fun. Like Doom is a game all about movement, and you're just gonna have me teleport. Like this is how you're solving the issue.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing, and I don't know when and if we'll ever get there. But like, my idea of VR is just like full body immersion, like being entirely in the game, and it just feels like anything else is just not what I want, and not what most people probably want either.
Yeah,
because like right now, it's just like a fun but very expensive gimmick, and it's got to be more than that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at least now, you can buy both Skyrim and Fallout 4 again, only now in VR for $59.99 on Steam.
Wow!
While you're at it, pick up the Nintendo Switch version of Skyrim as well.
Thanks, Rod.
Don't you want to buy Todd Coward's game?
It feels like someone's trying to sell me something.
Buy my game.
I feel like Steve is never going to understand any of our SpongeBob references.
I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly okay with that.
All right, that's enough out of Bethesda.
We're fucking done with them. But we gotta take a break here, and then we'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
Welcome back to the Sonic Board podcast. All right, one of you tell me about this supposedly legendary Devolver Digital conference that I missed.
Okay, so Devolver. Before we get into that, Devolver Digital is a indie game publisher who they published a lot of just indie games, really, just kind of random ones. Like they're mostly known for the Serious Sam games. But they've also published like Hotline Miami, and some other famous indie games. I don't know. Those are the ones I know the most. Hotline Miami and Serious Sam. But they publish a lot, and they're a pretty good publisher. So this year they apparently announced that they were doing a conference. So everyone's like, oh, okay, I wonder what it is. Well, so what it turns out what it was, it's a pre-recorded like 15-minute video that's just a giant shitpost on E3. And like this lady comes out and she like starts like, and she's like saying like, and it's like showing footage.
I think her name was Nina Suthers.
Yeah, it's like showing footage of like stock footage of an audience. There's no actual audience. It just shows like stock footage of an audience like clapping, and it just keeps going on for like the first minute. It's just. And like it just goes on into all this like dumb bullshit with them like making these silly jokes and things like the one thing they said was like earliest access. Now you can have access to your game. Now you can pay for your games when they're just merely a concept in a developer's head.
Yeah, they're basically she basically just straight up said like they're bragging about doing unethical business practices.
Unethical business practices today.
Yes. And they bring up like obviously he's an actor, but they bring up a guy from the audience to throw money at a computer. And the money just gets absorbed into it. But then his hand gets caught in it, and he pulls it out. And just blood's just spraying everywhere.
And then, yeah. And then later they bring up the same guy, his hand's still cut off, like for another thing. I forget what it was.
Yeah, it's for the comment creation, right?
Comment created content. Now, whenever you go on the Steam forums and shitpost about your game and say, dude, this game is great, but it'd be better even with akimbo weapons, it'll just automatically update the game with your horrible opinions.
So he's just going at it with just one hand. He was very downtrodden when he came up onto the stage. But as he was typing and he was seeing things changing in the game, he got really into it. And the girl on stage, Nina Sothers, just getting more worked up. And before you know it, she's just shouting at the top of her lungs. She's shouting, "The future, the future, the future!" And suddenly she's bleeding from her nose, and the guy at the computer screen is vomiting, and some other scientist has already passed out on the stage, and then Nina Sothers' head becomes like some plastic or ceramic thing, and it just explodes with blood. And she falls down dead on stage, and some guy in mocap with the little white balls on him comes up, but he drags their bodies away. And that was the Devolver Digital conference.
Right. It was basically just a ridiculous skit that was very silly that nobody was expecting, and it was just a giant shitpost all over E3. And then,
Is this the most avant-garde thing that's ever happened to video games?
Probably. It's definitely one of the most avant-garde things that's ever happened at an E3. And then it was basically just like a Tim and Eric sketch. And then after that, I think it was kind of like in partnership with them somewhat. Twitch did this like giant all-nighter stream that was just also even more of a shitpost with such famous quotes as, "How do you spell Pearl Harbor? F-U-N." And like, just, I don't like, it's just surreal. And apparently at some part of this like 12-hour stream, they just started like playing the anime Ninja Slayer.
Yeah.
They apparently watched this movie called what was it called?
I was not here for this.
Huh?
I was not here for that.
I didn't watch these, but it was apparently glorious because they watched like some, God, I forget what it was called. I know the pre-show is what it was called. The Twitch pre-show. Wolf Cop, that's what it was.
Wolf Cop?
Wolf Cop.
Wolf Cop?
Yes.
Wolf Cop.
And I don't know. I don't even know what the whole thing was all about. It was apparently
they brought
insane.
on the Sonic Twitter guy.
Oh yeah, that was another thing they did. They showed some footage from the new Sonic game.
We'll talk about that later on.
It was basically the whole thing was basically just a giant fever dream.
Everything's good here. Back to you, John.
Is that what that's
Chris.
from?
Yeah. It's just the guy who was hosting it. He was supposed to cut away to someone else, and he's like, "Take it away, Chris," and you cut to just some other guy, and every time he says "take it away," it's just a pre-recorded bit of the guy just somewhere doing something mundane, looking around, and he just doesn't even say anything, and he just says, "Everything's fine here," or "Everything's good here. Back to you, John." And he plays the same exact clip. "Take it away, Chris." Playing a different clip of the guy. "Everything's good here. Back to you, John." "Take it away, Chris." "It's all good here. Back to you, John." And then they did that like 15 times. Anyway, that's it. And next topic, Steve. Enough of this.
It was Kino.
It was Kino.
And I missed it. So, next up on real press conferences, we have Ubisoft. And I think they get a lot of bonus points for bringing Miyamoto out on stage holding a gun. Things I would never thought I'd see at E3.
I mean, people for years, they were like, all right, I'm excited about this new XCOM game. Like, I really want a new XCOM. And then they just made a new XCOM, except it's, for some reason, a Mario Rabbids crossover.
It's kind of a shame this got leaked, because that would have been a really good surprise, but...
Oh, this was a leak?
This was a leak.
I remember you posted, like, the promotional art. I didn't know if that was a leak or not.
Yeah, that was, like, the official leak, but even then, like, there have been rumors about this going back to last year.
Huh.
Oh yeah, they're
even the fact that Grant Kirkhope was going to be the composer, that was rumored and ended up being true as well. So
yeah, I remember what happened was they like somebody, there was like a rumor going around that there was going to be a Mario Rabbids crossover, and then people were like shit posting about it, saying that like, wow, this is what the Switch has, and then we get that Mario Odyssey trailer earlier this year, and there's these rabbits in it, and it's like, oh, maybe that's what this is about. But then no, this is actually a thing.
Well, there's also something. There was also something even earlier than that, where it's like there was just an Ubisoft video of some guy in the office talking, and someone noticed one of the Mario Rabbids figurines in the background on the shelf.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this goes way back.
Yeah.
Apparently.
We had our best men on the job trying to ascertain whether or not the Mario Rabbids crossover had any legitimacy to it.
Maybe it's for the best that this leaked, because I think people needed to mentally prepare themselves for it.
Yeah.
Well, we certainly like set our expectations really low for this.
And ended up being pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
At least I think so. Like,
I was actually very surprised by how good the animation was in the game. They actually put a ton of work into that.
It looks like a Nintendo-made game.
It does, yeah.
I think this is gonna be like I don't know, Captain Toad tier, where it's a perfectly serviceable and fun to play game that is generally pretty good, but you're just gonna finish it and never ever think about it again.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in buying it right now. Okay, I've never played an XCOM game, and I'm just going to assume that this is going to be XCOM for a younger audience, so it's probably going to be very easy.
I mean, I don't think how many games that have featured Mario in a starring role have had any modicum of difficulty.
Yeah, I know, but this is like a strategy game, right?
Ostensibly.
Yeah.
Kids don't know strategy.
No.
Kids are dumb.
I do demand like a modicum of at least self-imposed challenge I could put on myself there.
Right. I mean, maybe they'll have like a hardcore mode where if your characters die, they're dead forever.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem in line with the Mario ethos.
I mean, they don't even kill the enemies in the game. They just de-res them and then they go back to the castle.
De-res? The hell does that mean?
Watch Tron.
Fuck you. But to go back to Captain Toad, that was like a puzzle game, and it had zero or rapidly approaching zero difficult puzzles in it. And I still thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, except for like the endless maze part at the end, which was just about the worst thing ever. If anyone remembers that.
I never actually played that level.
God. Anyway, so something that's like if a genre built on difficulty could have a more accessible game that still is fun. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I guess I'll go pre-order Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yes, please walk into your local GameStop and pre-order it for an exclusive gun type. Yeah.
Now, so when are they going to announce the Rabid amiibos?
Oh, those are probably coming.
They're too busy selling their own figurines of them, honestly.
That audible disgust from Colin.
we can talk about the penis amiibo that he wants later.
I'm sure that sounds great out of context.
One thing I do like about the Mario Rabbids game is that they've apparently given the Mario characters more personality than Nintendo usually does. Like, they're really expressive in that trailer and stuff, so it gives me hope that the sense of humor the game will be, like, better than what you would normally expect from a Rabbids game.
So bear with me here. Given that Ubisoft is making Mario X Rabbids...
It's Mario plus Rabbids, you fucking loon.
God, fuck you.
Mario to the square root of Rabbids.
No, there's I was trying to make like a stupid mathematical operation joke, but I couldn't remember the name of this operation, and I just did. And I was gonna say Mario modulo Rabbids, but now it's just not funny anymore. And to say it was ever funny is enough of a stretch. But anyway,
I went back in time and I stopped this timeline from occurring.
So they're making the Mario plus Rabbids game, and they're doing it in a way that like pays great service to the Mario characters. Now they're also making South Park, Stick of Truth, Fractured Butthole. Should Ubisoft just make the next Paper Mario game?
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
I was that's actually the kind of game I expected this to be. I was like, the rumors were it was going to be an RPG, but I was not expecting like a strategy RPG.
I mean, maybe. I guess, like, Stick of Truth is a really good... Like, I'm fine with them making the game. Although I'm not sure about the Fractured Butthole, because the Stick of Truth was actually made by Obsidian, not Ubisoft.
Oh, they just published it?
Yes. It was actually developed... I believe it was developed mostly by Obsidian, if I am...
Yeah, you're right.
Not mistaken.
Well, never mind then.
And so I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, and South Park Digital Studios LLC. But so I'm not sure if this new South Park game is really gonna be that good.
Hold your opinion until after you play this one, if it ever comes out.
It's probably going to be good. Like I have no reason to think otherwise, outside the fact that it's developed by Ubisoft. But
they are also taking... It's a sequel to a game that was already good, so there's only so much they can reasonably change to just shit out a sequel.
Yeah, like the only real way that this new game could be bad is if the humor is just not as good. Honestly, if they just take the new game, this first game's gameplay, and just kind of copy paste it, maybe add a few things here and there, and just have the same kind of writing that the first game did, then it's going to be good.
The writing, though, was done by the South Park people, not the Obsidian people, so I can't imagine they would switch that.
I mean, it's not like there's ever been bad South Park episodes, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently, all I know is that this one is going to have to do with, like, the superhero aspect of the South Park universe, so...
Which, like, have made for good episodes of South Park. They've had that recur several times, and it's usually pretty enjoyable.
I don't know.
I already know the answer to this because we already talked about another pirate game, but who's excited for Ubisoft's pirate game?
Oh god, which one was this?
It was
Skull and Bones,
which was just pirate ship battle simulator.
No, but what happened like in the trailer? I don't I know that they had a pirate game. I know that I saw it. I just don't remember anything about it.
It was just a 5v5 PvP match of like pirates shooting at each other's boats.
So that's not the one where they went into a cave and like zombies propped up, right?
That was Sea of Thieves.
Okay. Was this the one where they were swimming in the ocean and like a shark got them?
That was Sea of Thieves. This one is just boat battles.
Is it just boat battles?
That appears to be... Well, I mean, they teased the Kraken thing at the end, so who knows what else it will have, but it's not like...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is this the one where somebody like got into a cannon and shot onto the other ship?
That was also Sea of Thieves.
Like, funny man.
Is Sea of Thieves more memorable than that Ubisoft game?
Apparently. I mean, I was kind of checked out during the Ubisoft conference, but I know I watched this trailer because I was there.
It's like it's the same. It really strikes me as the same thing as like For Honor, of like here's a very specific thing that they're probably going to do reasonably well for an audience that really wants this sort of thing, but I'm not that audience.
Would you call it 5 Honor?
No.
Well,
It's gonna be one of those Ubisoft games that comes out, sells extremely well, and everybody forgets about after 2 weeks.
Yep. Sounds about right.
So 5
Just like
Honor.
The Division, just like Tom Clancy's Wildlands, which apparently came out.
For Honor.
For Honor.
Tom Clancy.
But
Just
not
like-
Rayman Legends.
Just like Watch Dogs 2.
Steve's Game of the Year.
I played Watch Dogs 2.
Was it as good as Watch Dogs 1?
No, I like Watch Dogs 1 better, actually. Even though I'm like the minority opinion when it comes to that, but
Steve's a fine connoisseur of the Watch Dogs series. In like 15 years, Steve's is going to be sitting in his rocking chair, holding a glass of brandy. He's like, yeah, the Watch Dogs series really went downhill after the first game.
Watch Dogs is a game that gets way more hate than it deserves. That's all I'll say. It is a fine open world game if you like open world games.
What if I want to be a cool hacker?
You should probably just play Sombra.
All right, but when I throw games, that's on you. Did anything else happen during the Ubisoft conference?
Well, they showed a trailer for a game that's the long-awaited sequel to a beloved classic PS2 era game.
Is this Battlefront 2?
That people lost their shit and then a few minutes later lost it again for entirely different reasons.
Oh my god, fucking, so, yeah. So,
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, that. I had no idea what you were talking about.
Beyond Good and Evil 2. So, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I did not watch the full Ubisoft conference. I did watch the trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say something. That animation and that, like, the CGI in that fucking trailer is goddamn mind-blowingly good.
On a scale of 1 to Shadow the Hedgehog, how edgy would you say that trailer was?
Like taking candy from a baby, which is just fine by me. It was going pretty hard in the hello there fellow kids direction with
yeah,
all.
Like, as it was happening, like I didn't really take note of that because I was just kind of like thrown off the fact that they were even making this game. Like I didn't believe what I was seeing. I don't really have any attachment to Beyond Good and Evil because I never played it. But I mean, it's still one of those things that like people asked for a long time, and then they got it. But Monkey's Paw, you didn't really get it.
Like, yeah, here's the thing. So, what people wanted from a Beyond Good and Evil game was so the first Beyond Good and Evil is like this Zelda-like adventure game up in this like dystopian society, and it apparently ends on a sequel hook. And so people were like, okay, so when's the sequel coming out? And, well, the game sold like shit. So, like, no sequel. Fucking apparently.
Well, the thing is, like, the creator of the game, who was also the creator of Rayman, by the way,
so
was
he
like,
learned.
They have announced they were making a sequel in the past, and he kept talking about how he really wanted to do it, but like nothing ever came of it.
They teased a screenshot of the characters from the first game.
Yeah.
In like this new engine, but that was years ago. So it's pretty clear that they just scrapped all that and cobbled together something else because it's like this is the only way we're going to be able to make this game.
Yeah, because for people who don't know, like this is not only a prequel, but supposedly an online game that may or may not be early access because it clearly hasn't been made yet or even really started to be made.
I think we've already gotten information that you can play it single player.
Yeah, I guess.
The fact that it's like an online game just seems weird.
Mm-hmm. Like, because the first game is a very story focused adventure.
Yeah, I've played Beyond Good and Evil. I'm not sure I was not in the camp that really loved it and was demanding a sequel.
It's one of those cult classic games that is really not nearly as good as people lead you to believe.
Yeah. It seems definitely like okay, well maybe I just assumed.
It might have been good at the time.
It was good at the time, but when you try to play it now, it's like this is just a really, really janky Zelda game.
Whenever I think of Beyond Good and Evil, and I've never played this game, and I never played the game that it always reminds me of. It always reminds me of fucking Advent Rising. Does anyone know what that is?
That's right, Funk.
Does anyone know what that is?
That's not the David Cage game, is it?
No, it's that stupid game. It was an original Xbox title.
Yeah.
That it was like a third-person shooter or exploration adventure game, something, and it had like some $1 million giveaway that completely tanked the company that was putting it on. And it was like the first part of a trilogy, and they were trying to hype it in so many ways, including this contest, and it just didn't sell, and no other games came out for it. But for some reason, mostly I think they came out in the same era, definitely. Beyond Good and Evil always reminds me of that. And they were both just massive failures.
Did that game have a pig man in it? Because that's the only thing I really know about Beyond Good and Evil.
No, but Seinfeld had a pig man in
it. He's not wrong.
So
Beyond Good and Evil did have a pig man.
Oh, man. But
the
yeah.
pig man was in the trailer, and that's how we knew what game it was.
But yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2 may be the most definitive monkey's paw moment of any E3.
I'm not sure. It might be too early to call, honestly, on that.
Well, I guess maybe.
But like, it's clearly
we had
not
a nice
going to
looking
be
trailer. We had a obviously people are like upset about the naughty words or whatever.
And
it's not so much that they use the words. It's just that its usage is very clearly trying to beat you over the head with "we're not for kids anymore."
Yeah.
And if they just dropped one, like if they just dropped like the first fuck, then the message would have gotten across just fine. It's just that all the other ones were basically me being treated like an idiot about what they're trying to accomplish with all the fucks.
It's still not the game people wanted, though.
No, it's definitely not. No.
So I think that definitely qualifies it for the Monkey's Paw Award.
Yeah. But who's directing it?
Is that an award now?
It's being directed by the same guy who directed the first game.
Okay, well there you go.
I mean, it has good signs.
But like you look at it, it's like this is clearly not what he wants. Like I feel this is what Ubisoft wants. This is what they're saying. If you want to make this is the kind of game you have to make in order for us to give you any sort of budget for this.
Didn't he walk onto the stage and start crying?
He did, yeah.
Oh, was that him? That was him?
Yeah, and I can tell like it means a lot to him, obviously, but.
I mean, I think he's just happy to make a Beyond Good and Evil game after 15 years.
That's probably why he's going along with this, even though it's kind of compromising what's likely his creative vision.
I mean, who knows? Maybe this game will be really big. It'll sell, and they'll make an actual proper sequel.
I mean, tons of great stuff has come from a compromised vision.
Yeah,
I guess so.
But this seems like a complete departure rather than just a little bit of corporate hand guiding the process. You know,
I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt until we see.
I'm not completely.
Yeah.
I'm willing to be wrong about the outcome of this game. It's just everything about it does not bode well.
And that all said, I have no faith that this will ever come out.
Yeah, I mean, it was first announced technically like 5 years ago.
I think even longer. I think the first time they announced it was 2008.
Oh yeah, dude.
Longer than that.
I think I read something. They actually announced it at their press conference in 2008.
Yeah.
And
the trailer with Paige snorting in the fly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're just gonna keep announcing Beyond Good and Evil 2 every decade just to placate people, and then eventually everyone who's played the first one will be dead. And we can just move on with our lives.
The only other thing of note here from this conference is Far Cry 5. I don't know if you guys care about that.
What is that even about?
It's about killing Americans.
Yeah, I think you mean killing conservatives, Steve.
Yeah, that's a new NeoGaf.
I think you mean killing conservatives.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, the only thing I think about when I think
don't worry,
Fallout
guys.
5
Don't worry,
is
guys. There
rhetoric.
are black people in the cult. They just didn't show up until a little later after you had gotten all the clickbait buzz.
Oh my god.
But
They're
the
a
thing
very
is,
inclusive white nationalist cult.
underneath all this, it's a Far Cry game, and at that point, who cares?
Yeah, it's gonna be just like every other.
You know what?
It's gonna be another Far Cry 3,
My
just
one
like Far Cry
recollection-
4 was.
My one recollection with the Far Cry universe is playing some Far Cry game on Xbox 360. I have no idea what one it was, and just having no idea what I was supposed to do. It had stupid jungle music pounding, which gave me a migraine. And I'm just sitting there flailing around as enemies shoot me, and I just take the game out and return it.
That was probably Far Cry 2.
Probably, I have no idea.
What is the actual thematic thread that holds all these games together, other than just being open world games? Because I don't know.
nothing.
There's shooters.
I don't know what Far Cry means. Or
You're
what
a
it's
far
about.
cry from home, am I right?
Oh my god.
I know the first game is unlike any of the other Far Cry games, in that it has to
It's the first one where it really gets crazy.
I mean, there are apparently weird mutant things on this island or something. I don't know. It's really weird.
Sounds
Talking
like Far
about the
Cry
Uwe
from
Boll
this
movie.
It's also shit. And then Far Cry.
I heard you, Colin.
The only recollection I really have from watching the
Wait,
trailer.
did you say the only erection?
What?
I don't think Far Cry is that kind of game.
No, it's not. So I think
there
Funk
was a scene in Far Cry 3.
I think Funk was the only one there with me watching this press conference.
It was just us. It was very romantic.
And then the first time the guy shows up, he's holding a revolver.
Yep.
I was like, I half expect him to flashbang and then fan the hammer. And then I was disappointed when he didn't.
Anyway,
That's it.
there's
That's all I
nothing-
got on that game.
There's nothing wrong with setting a game in rural America and fighting rural Americans.
No,
That's
there's
my
not.
take. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
The reason this game is not going to be very good is not because of the coat of paint that's over the setting and the enemies. It's going to be because it's just another AAA shooter that places too large of an emphasis on having an open world.
Yeah.
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 It's another Ubisoft open
Just
world. game.
open world without actual level design.
Honestly, I don't think their conference was that bad overall, but it's
No.
just a lot of games that don't appeal to us.
Wait,
again.
we didn't even talk about the best game of the conference. They
Jesus
announced Just Dance again. And I have no idea. I mentioned this to Steve. I have no idea how one is going to play Just Dance on an Xbox One, Xbox, or a PlayStation 4. They don't have controllers
But
that
Funk,
that
you
work
can
with that
actually
kind
play
of thing.
this game on the original Nintendo Wii because it is coming out for the original Nintendo Wii.
I kind of want to buy a copy. That's a cultural artifact.
What the hell?
That's amazing.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me if that was the best-selling version of the game.
At this point, do you think that there's just no more songs to put in a Just Dance game because they've released so many of them? Just every piece of music
I
ever
mean, they
recorded.
did stop making music altogether in 2016. So
This is true. So it's a tough time to be in the Just Dance business.
The same kind of thing happened with Rock Band and Guitar Hero. Where it's they started running out of songs, so it's just what's in the top 40 this week? All right.
Funk, you would totally buy that game if it was Just Dance the Beatles.
Yeah, I mean, I may have said it on record once or twice. The Beatles Rock Band is my favorite video game of all time. But even I have some standards, Steve. I don't want to see Ubisoft bend the corpse of John Lennon over a fucking iron horse on the E3 stage and just rail him endlessly.
That's a fitting image to end that discussion with. Let's move on to Sony. And there's one. Okay, so we have to start by talking about this because it's the one thing I wanted to rail about last year, but because we didn't do
So
the
much
podcast
railing.
last year, we never got to bitch about this game. It never got its due. So let's just talk about how fucking awful Days Gone looks.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, so
Made by the creators of Bubsy 3D.
Basically, last year we didn't even talk about E3 because we all had the same opinions.
I could have sworn we did a podcast last year. Am I
We
crazy?
didn't.
Oh
We did not.
No, we had a discussion, and everything was just Days Gone looks fucking terrible. We spent so much time just bitching about how bad that game looked.
But it deserved it, and it still deserves it.
It still deserves it, although it was a slightly better showing of the game this year than last year. But oh
Was
my,
it?
it was. I do believe it was, because last year was just a guy getting chased by the horde of zombies.
And this year,
okay.
the first thing they showed was just taking a fight that should have been the gameplay and making it a QTE.
Yeah, so he's on his bike, and then he gets knocked off in a QTE segment, and then he has QTE on, like, all the combat looks completely on rails, to the point where when a character goes up against a tree, and there's a rope wrapped around the tree, it looked like if he just ran up to the tree, he automatically tied the rope around and just killed the guy. Tied the rope around his neck, that is.
It seems kind of like they're trying to go for the Uncharted Last of Us
Absolutely, yeah.
combat thing where I forget what they call that, but like the whole environmental combat thing where it's like depending on where you are, you're
Context
sensitive combat, which is cool. That's actually one of the things I really like about those games. It's just that this game looks like it's done in a really shitty way.
It was done in Steve's favorite game of all time, Rise of the Tomb Raider. So it's got to be good here.
I didn't play Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Whatever the first one
Tomb
was called.
Raider.
You just wanted to hear Lara Croft be in pain.
I hate tombs.
But the thing that grabbed me watching the first, let's say the first half of this quote-unquote gameplay segment. So it starts off with him riding his bike through like a storm, and then as mentioned, it goes into a fight scene. As soon as the fight scene clears, it's just fucking sunny out. Like, the rain it doesn't gradually dissipate. It's just, okay, it's time for it to stop raining because it's going to obstruct the feel of this next scene that we want to present to you. And it's a petty thing, but it was so jarring to me. It's like, it was just raining buckets 30 seconds ago.
Cinematic open world don't seem like concepts that really gel with each other.
No. They don't. Like, so I think we can all agree one of the better open world games to come out in a while was the latest Zelda. And anything cinematic
Nintendo's great.
Well, anything cinematic that game does is all locked behind like flashbacks that are far removed from, whatever's happening to your character at that time.
Right.
It doesn't try to mix the two.
Yeah, all the cool stuff in the game is cool stuff you can actually do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
additionally, like this game, which is obviously aping Naughty Dog stuff like Uncharted's 2 through 4 and then Last of Us, Naughty Dog got so famous for doing those because they did them very well.
You're right.
They're very good at convincing you that you're good at the game. No, that's how their cinematic stuff.
You make this point all the time, Colin, and I love it every time you do.
Yeah. That's what their cinematic stuff is so good at. Is that there's it feels like there's a level of interactivity. Like the Uncharted 4 Envoy chase, when they first showed that at some E3, I thought that was all bullshit. But
is that all the one where they're driving through like that town and then it goes on the bridge? And
I thought it was all bullshit, but it really wasn't. That's all in the game, as is.
What happens if you stop and turn and then drive the other way? What happens?
I've done that. I did that in the game, and it pissed my friend off.
Colin just shitposts whenever he...
It kind of ruins the flow of the scene, doesn't it?
It does. It totally does. But
that's also you actively trying to have a less fun time. Like,
no, but that's also...
fun for me. It was fun for me because I was fucking with them, but...
so what happens?
That's also just a criticism of those games in general, I think. They're built on set pieces, and that's it.
Right, but I don't think it's really fair to dock a game when you're trying to break it. You know, like I agree that this kind of attitude
it's
doesn't lead to the best gameplay, but when you're just trying to undermine what's going on, of course it's not going to work. Like, what did you expect? You're trying to not make it work.
Yeah, it's kind of like complaining about, like, in Zelda, in like Breath of the Wild, how like there are some areas that are kind of janky, but only if you go out of your way to find the jankiness.
No, but those are like actually just glitches. I mean,
Yeah,
Zelda
I
is a
so.
game that's predicated on you wanting to break it. Like, you
also,
can do anything you want to do, and that's what makes that game amazing.
So
Right.
So with Days Gone, it just seems like because of the open world format, you're going to actually be lacking in set piece moments.
right?
Like all these that whole thing that we saw in that gameplay trailer, is that the best they can offer? Is that what they're going to be showing at the show floor here?
Yeah.
The people on stage wiggling upside down. They cut to that for a second, by the way. I don't know what the hell those guys were doing for the rest of the presentation, but at one point when the zombie was freaking out, dangling upside down, they cut to actual people on stage hanging from the ceiling, wiggling around. And apparently they were just there for the entire 10-minute presentation.
That was the dumbest thing.
That's like when they cut to a blender in the Flintstones and it just looks at the camera and it's like, it's a living. That's what I picture with these people.
So like the best they have as a stinger is Zombear. You know?
Oh my god.
It's just so open world, post-apocalypse, third person, zombie, cinematic. This is
Don't forget they had the detective vision in there too.
Yeah, detective vision / Witcher sense. Because why would an open world give you anything other than like a beeline right to where you're supposed to go?
There's not even like a gameplay justification for it, like a lot of these games give you now. He's just an ordinary guy who can do this.
So you have a game that's just completely devoid of ideas, but they can sure make a bunch of zombies appear on screen. So we'll be impressed with that.
I mean,
and you can also use the zombies as a weapon to kill you.
That's the whole reason this game exists, is they came up with this zombie tech, and it's like, oh, I guess we have to make a game around it, and this is the best that they could do.
Remember Dead Rising, how that was billed as having like X amount of zombies on screen, and they actually had a game in there. It's like that game had a lot of flaws, and it wasn't fantastic.
Well,
it had distinct and unique gameplay elements.
Well, that was made by Capcom, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Japanese company.
Right. Whereas
they
this
actually know how to make a game.
Good.
This is exactly. This game, Days Gone, is like fighting with its status as a game. It's just there's nothing unique about playing it.
I mean, I think that's true of a lot of AAA games.
I know, it's just...
And it's such a bummer because, you probably have a bunch of really, really talented people working on this.
Yeah, you can't...
From the makers of Rosy 3D?
Like seeing the zombies on screen, like, interacting independently and being that large of a horde, that is impressive.
The tech
but
is
it's
good.
not,
you just used it for nothing good.
Exactly. There's talent, but there's not creativity.
Right.
They were too preoccupied about whether they could. They didn't stop to think about whether they should.
Kill yourself.
I like... It's basically, like, the game basically feels like a game that, like, came from the universe where The Last of Us spawned all these kind of stealth but not really action games like
So
The
our
Last of Us is. Well, no, there's really not that many Last of Us clones out there.
Kind of.
It feels like this game comes from like an alternate universe where like a bunch of Last of Us clones respawned, and this is just one of the really shitty ones.
Last of Us really couldn't snowball a whole revolution like a lot of people thought it would because Last of Us is expensive to produce at the quality it is.
Right.
As in, not so much. I think Last of Us is all right, but in terms of the production value,
The Last of Us.
I think Last of Us is really solid. I think it's a great one-time playthrough thing.
Yeah,
Matthew loved it, so I have to love it too.
it's an okay game with an okay story that people really love for reasons that I don't understand.
I got, I think, I don't know, 2.5 hours into it, and I stopped playing it for like that day, and I just never wanted to go back. And
I mean, that's kind of what I did recently. I tried it out on the PS4 version.
Yeah, it came free with my PS4.
Yeah, when I got the PS4, and I was like, all right, this is pretty good. Like, it's 60 FPS, so it plays a lot better. That's actually kind of neat. And then, like, after like 2 hours, I was like, I already experienced all this, so I have no reason to play this.
Yeah, you could just do what I did and watch the game over the course of 2 hours on YouTube and get the same experience.
I mean, basically,
only 2 hours.
Well, it was like 3 hours, but
yeah, because people.
I was going to admit 30% of the time.
Yeah, people try to defend it by saying there's only 90 minutes of cutscene, but the cinematic stuff doesn't end at the cutscenes.
No,
right.
Yeah.
I mean that doesn't.
And the
doesn't
one I watched wasn't just cutscenes; they actually included stuff.
Yeah,
like
So-
I'm sorry, but the beginning of the game where you're watching other people do things in a car, and then walking on a straight path through the city is not gameplay.
It's not. I don't think that's something that I don't hate that in concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like
No,
the Uncharted games have done that too, and it serves a purpose, but it's something that's very easy to kind of lean on.
I don't think there's anything wrong with cinematic games. I just think that there's a large crowd of people who take them as like the definitive gaming experiences, like the end point of gaming, the natural evolution, and that's not really what they are.
This is what we've been leading to.
It's just another game genre.
Yeah.
Right.
These cinematic games,
like something,
and I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I literally talked about earlier in this podcast. You know, I enjoy them with pals.
Well, let's talk about this for real though. So you, the casual listener, might think that Colin and his friends come together and are like, we're gonna, let's have a thorough discourse on this game after enjoying it as a group. But what really happens is that Colin wrestles the controller away from everybody else, and then visually shitposts while playing the game. All the while saying stupid things as if he doesn't know that he's doing anything incorrectly. And actively raises the ire of every single person that he's with because they take it way too seriously.
Colin's my hero.
They don't let me have the controller anymore when we play these games.
That
because
reminds
I
me.
play Nathan Drake like a moron, and I still make it through.
That honestly just sounds like the time when I got banned from playing Four Swords Adventures by my friends because I was playing it competitively and they wanted to play it cooperatively.
Oh my god. Were you like throwing people into pits and shit?
Sure I was.
I just want
That game could have a definitive winner and loser, so why not try to win?
If I could get a 3D world session going with the 4 people gathered here today, I think it might be the most fun imaginable.
I can only imagine how fun that would be.
Colin shitposting, Steve going for the crown every time, Matt trying to finish the level. It would just be a fantastic time.
Oh my god.
Well, have you guys know that the press who actually played Days Gone at E3 also said it wasn't very good, so...
Wow, even the press doesn't like that.
Even gaming journalism, which hypes up everything, is not really hyping up this game.
That's understandable.
Believe it or not, that was not the only game they showed there. Even though it was kind of a lackluster conference that was a lot shorter than Sony normally does.
I think that was fine if that was shorter, honestly.
Yeah, but
I didn't mind
also,
it was shorter. It was just there's just nothing.
They didn't have a lot of new stuff. This is like one of their catch-up years where, hey, we announced all these other games early, now we got to show them to you, and we don't have anything else
Is
new.
next year the mustard year?
That's another cinematic game is God of War.
Yep.
Yeah. Also a game I'm not really interested in.
No.
I don't think anybody is.
So
Well,
I gotta.
may
I
guess-
pose a question to God of War fans? if you're out there,
Why?
So God of War. I've seen people claim to be God of War fans who are very upset with this direction. But is this not just the logical conclusion of God of War? Really, when you think about it, I mean, those games were definitely. Yeah, it's going in a different direction, but everyone always used to praise those games. I remember people used to praise God of War games for their great stories, right? Yeah. That was a thing.
Remember the hubbub about the sex scene? The QTE sex?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we have no QTEs in this new one. You just have automatic kill moves.
QTEs are the fucking backbone of God of War.
But I'm not even saying, like, hey, QTEs are great. But you really just removed them, and you didn't really replace them with anything. It's just the same thing, just without button mashing, by the looks of it. You still have those elaborate executions. I mean, what the hell do you really get out of God of War that's now like just completely gone, right? That you can't re-experience. Like, I have no interest in this game. I really don't. But God of War's never been that good.
No. I've said it before. It's Devil May Cry for people who are A, stupid, and B, don't want to put in any effort. It's the same spectacle with none of the demand that the game requires.
It's a character action game without the character.
Yeah, I mean, Kratos' character is very, very deep.
This is very, very obviously chasing trends. Not as hard as Days Gone, but it is chasing trends.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know why I said different universe, because I just realized that this is also a game in this universe. And this is also a game that has a very Last of Us feel to it, with the fucking you're walking on a linear path thing.
Yep, the relationship with the sun parallels the thing with Ellie.
We took out the gory bits. Well, okay, all right. I will concede this to God of War fans if you exist on the internet and you listen to this podcast. Maybe they've certainly taken out some of the bite that the games were known for. They very deliberately did that for the Europeans.
Screenshot of Ganondorf with green blood.
Someone wants to talk about the newest David Cage game.
Oh my god.
What week was androids?
Detroit, the game about robot slavery that David Cage says has no political undertones whatsoever.
I mean, I just love that that's an announcement that he had to make, but watching just the trailer has already plagued the game with horrible writing. And for the third time tonight, I'm going to say something that I know I mentioned to you guys before. At some point in the trailer, so the setup is that two androids are trying to break into an android store to free these other androids, because they're not going to serve humans no more. So they do that. They activate all these androids, and they're like, you're free. You no longer have to serve these human masters. You're finally going to be able to live by your own free will. And then one of the freed androids just like steps up and looks at him and is like, yeah, now we're going to follow you. And they all start cheering.
And maybe that's the twist.
The thing is, if that's the quote-unquote twist you're going for, it's just so on the nose that it's dumb writing. And if it's not the twist, then it's so obliviously stupid. So it's so poorly handled that it's a damned if you do and damned if you don't kind of thing.
Yeah, you have a guy this guy truly is making movie games, and he's not a good writer at all. I have no doubt that God of War is going to be a better written game than this.
Oh my god! Like, let me tell you,
and it's definitely going to be a better voice acted game than this, because David Cage games never have good voice acting.
Which is weird, because you don't think that, they just they hire people. Why would they consistently hire bad actors? But they do.
Someone cue shouting Jason over and over again.
Jason.
Sean.
I just love that one video of the glitch.
His kid in that game.
I just like John in the background.
His kid in that game, the kid who didn't die, might be the worst voice acting of anything ever.
Oh God. I know. Oh my God. Have you guys ever heard of like the first game that David Cage wrote?
Indigo
Is it like
Prophecy?
Omicron?
Yeah, Omicron, the one with David Bowie.
Oh my God.
David Bowie actually apparently like was one of the designers for that game or some shit. And Jesus Christ, so that game literally like has a character coming up, like go up to you and basically like saying like, this is a video game. And like
It was a different time.
And like
So right out of the gate, they're lying to you.
well, yeah, they're basically like just saying like
Setting you up for the big twist.
They're like the game at the very beginning is basically just like, this is a whole new universe, and I don't know, like it's some weird thing that's just really stupid and shit and very poorly written.
When was this made? Like turn of the century?
This is like
it was a Dreamcast game, wasn't
it? I guess so. Yeah, Microsoft Windows and Dreamcast. Let me see.
It was a long time ago.
He's still trying.
And he'll never get there.
His most
People
successful.
keep giving him money.
Yeah, people are giving him really decent budgets to make these games.
Heavy Rain was a very successful game, if I remember correctly.
Some bizarre reason, because Heavy Rain was 2010, and we should have had better standards by then.
Oh God, yeah.
And somehow, Heavy Rain didn't just get nominated for Game of the Year awards all around. This is back when sites were like gaming sites were relevant. Didn't just get nominated for Game of the Year awards. It won some.
Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, I forgot the other one, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, or Indigo Prophecy or whatever.
Or Indigo Prophecy. That's the more commonly known name. But
see, Matt's got the deep cuts. He knows.
Indigo Prophecy. I never played that game. I just watched a playthrough of it, and that game is a fucking trip. Like, that game is legitimately entertaining just because of how completely insane it is. Like, it starts off as like a weird mystery science fiction thing, like with some like vibes of Day After Tomorrow, and then all of a sudden it turns into the Matrix, and you're fighting evil. You're fighting like evil wizards in these like Matrix battles while playing Simon Says.
Love it.
As the gameplay. Like the gameplay of that game, like the QTEs in that game is literally just Simon. I'm not joking. It's just Simon, like two little like you know the Simon game, like two of those things come up on screen, and you like have to copy what they're doing with the thumbsticks. It's bizarre. This is another game that got a lot of awards too.
I mean, people like novelty.
I guess so.
And things like Indigo Prophecy and Heavy Rain, for their time, were pretty new ideas, even if they weren't executed fantastically, to say the least.
Right.
So, game journalism being what it is, it doesn't surprise me that these things get high reviews or win awards, or whatever.
No, it's because you can get basically everything out of the game, what it offers at like its ideal experience for the player, always, because it's the same experience for everyone.
Right. It's the most shallow thing imaginable.
Well, I do know that Heavy Rain actually.
Whoa.
What?
No, go ahead.
That Heavy Rain actually does get some like credit for actually like choices in that game actually do somewhat matter.
That is true. Degree. Yeah, that is true. Credit to Heavy Rain.
Way more than
your characters. Your characters can actually die in that game and affect the ending.
Right, way more than how your choices affect your actions in anything like by say Telltale.
Yeah.
Even
Telltale's been. I feel like Telltale's been running like a money laundering scheme for the past 5 years.
And how many Telltale games have you bought, Colin?
just Walking Dead seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah,
So
same
2
with me.
games.
And then, wait, did I purchase season 2? Yeah, I did purchase season 2. And then my friend purchased Wolf Among Us.
Glass him.
Classic.
Yeah, that one.
I heard that one was actually good too.
That one's decent.
Just
But
these,
Walking Dead season 2 is decent minus.
Oh no.
And I would say it's bordering on bad.
Oh yeah, it's definitely bordering on bad.
The only
Isn't that what D- is?
Yeah,
No,
I guess
On
so.
that?
I guess so.
yeah, bordering, but it's not full on bad. Like it's still
Yeah.
decent to an extent.
It has some good stuff. Mostly stuff with Kenny.
Anything
we all
involving
love our
Kenny is
Kennys
absolutely
here.
great.
Yeah. Although I feel like they unintentionally made Kenny great in that.
It's
Season
just like
2.
real life.
It does seem like that. Like they didn't intend for people to like Kenny as much as they did because they wanted to make the big choice at the end have more oomph to it. With you either deciding to kill Kenny or lesbian bitch, but they just make the lesbian bitch even worse in season 3,
bro.
huh?
She's not a lesbian.
Okay, sure, but like they make her even worse.
She bangs the Luke guy.
You know what happened? You know what happens in season 3 with her?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she gets pregnant and then kills herself.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Like just to.
And like, she does it in like the first like flashback with Clem. As soon as you see Clem, like you get like that in your first episode. Like, oh yeah, we can't be bothered to fucking deal with this shit.
It's like they knew, like it's like they knew that okay, nobody likes this character, so just fuck it, let's just kill her off.
Yeah, but they also kill Kenny off.
They do in a really dumb way.
Which means that, by the way, I got the best ending because I actually chose to stay in Wellington without Kenny, and I let Kenny go off on his own at the end.
Yes, that is the best ending. That's the most sensible and the best ending.
Because that means that Kenny lives, by the way. We don't see him, but he's out there somewhere, baby.
He's out there somewhere, doing what he does best.
Is Kenny the black guy?
No.
No, that's Lee. Lee is great. Lee's the best.
Great.
Is Kenny the guy with the trucker hat?
Kenny's the guy with the trucker hat that has
wrong.
the best scene in season 1, which is where he has Lee pick a lock. And Lee's like, why do you think I would know how to pick a lock? And he's like, I don't know, you're urban.
Does Lee know how to pick a lock?
Well, he does.
Oh.
Okay, he does, but he does pick the lock eventually.
Love it.
It's been 5 years. I'm sorry, I can't remember it all with perfect clarity.
I don't know if he did know. I just know he did eventually pick the lock. But that was the writing in season 1 was pretty damn good.
Yeah, and your choices didn't necessarily affect like the direction of the story, but there was some more substantial variations.
Yeah, like the
Whereas
biggest
season 2 basically just spits in your face.
Yeah, like the biggest one with season 1 is that if you actually there's the character of Ben, who is the biggest piece of shit.
Is he like that kid? Like that teenager?
He is the mule of the group. And I'm sorry. We keep going back to this. But
you can't talk about the forbidden one.
But
he who shall not be named.
Basically he's just this big piece of shit kid who like is completely useless and just ruins everything he tries to do. But if you let him live throughout the entirety of the game to the point where he is, forced to die because, they have to do that somewhere, he actually does have a bit of a there is an actual kind of like a payoff for letting him live, and he has his little
end to the arc.
He has his badass moment. He has his like kind of character development moment, and there is payoff to letting him live, which is not anything.
I do hear season 3 does have more variations in the ending, but come on, when season 4 comes around, what do you think is going to happen?
Right. like there's no like it's not going to be any different from anything else.
Yeah, but I didn't get season 3. Anyway, that's not what this podcast be about because Telltale didn't announce anything at E3.
Hold on,
Thank
hold
God.
on. I've been trying to make the same joke for 5 goddamn minutes, and you're gonna listen to me and hear me make it. So you've been talking about Telltale games. So I was gonna come in and be like, wow, well the only Telltale game I played, and then you'd be like, wow, what story-driven Telltale game did Funk play? And then I would say was Lego Star Wars. And you'd be like, oh, they made those too. And that was a joke I was trying to make for like 10 goddamn minutes.
Wasn't that?
And you
That was Traveler's Tales.
Oh, it was.
He sounded so defeated. Crushed.
Well, the wind has been taken out of my sails.
Well, Funk, would you like to discuss Spider-Man with me?
Wait. There was one game at
Oh my
Sony's E3 that was that I was kind of interested in.
We can still talk about it. We don't have to end with Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, they ended the conference with Spider-Man, so I just figured you were trying to wrap up Sony. But there was the Shadow of the Colossus remake that they showed.
Yeah.
And although I think they've taken out some of that dreary, overcast atmosphere from the first one, it still does look great because you have those more detailed animations that we have in the modern day. What is this? Sorry, message from Funk in the chat, boys. Anyway, I thought the Shadow of the Colossus game looked pretty neat, and I will happily play that on my PS4.
Have you played the first one?
I have not.
Sorry, the original, I should say.
I have not.
Okay, because I have, and I don't know. Like it looks good. Like it's as a complete remake. It looks graphically good. It's just I don't know if that would warrant playing the game again if you had played it before.
Mm-hmm.
But if you haven't, then it's a great way to play it for the first time.
I'm interested in it. Like I really like Eco. But every time I've tried to play Shadow of the Colossus, I get bored like halfway through. Because it's just the same. Everything just feels the same. You jump on the thing, you hit its weak spot, and that's really it. And there's just not a whole lot to it. I don't know. I never particularly liked Shadow of the Colossus that much. But maybe I'll like it this time.
I had the same opinion. The first time I played it, I wasn't really wowed by it. I thought it was fine, but the parts, like I guess the more atmospheric parts between fights, just didn't click with me, and I found them more boring than anything else. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're like quote not controlling the horse, but controlling the guy riding the horse, which excuses why it's a little difficult to control it at times, also really just didn't land for me. So I was very frustrated with it. I had a lot of problems with that game, but it was still on the whole pretty good, but I'm not really clamoring to replay it. Not going to buy it again.
Yeah. I mean, it especially didn't help with the HD version where they for whatever reason, like the stamina system and the grabbing system was like really, really weird and bad compared to the PS2 version. Like, really? Yeah, like there's a noticeable difference between how often you get staggered by the Colossi in the PS3 version and PS2 version. Like in the PS2 version, like there's one noticeable one where like there's one Colossi that'll like shake its head, and there's a little shake that it does that doesn't really affect you much. But in the PS3 version, like you can't even land an attack at all because it just does it all the time and you can't do anything. And it's just so frustrating and so obnoxious. There's like a very clear difference there, and I think it has to do with the fact that they upped the frame rates, and that fucked up like how that worked for some reason. So I hope they change that. That's for sure. Although then I've also heard that's apparently how the original PAL version of the game played, so I don't know.
Everything in Europe is fucking broken. That's why they play Poverty Ball.
Oof. Anyways.
So, Colin,
Wow.
what did you think of Marvel's Spider-Man?
Marvel Spider-Man. Wow. Well, you see, the animation looked really good. But how many QTEs you want, fam?
Yeah, that was the one thing, the really only thing about that demonstration that bothered me. I was happy they at least showed a HUD.
Did you play Spider-Man 3, Steve?
No, I didn't.
You know who did?
I did.
I
You?
did.
What?
I did on Nintendo Wii.
Let's
Oh my
talk
God.
about. So I don't know if that followed the trend of the Wii game being different than like the 360 and PS3 game, but in the version I played, the QTEs in that game were fucking merciless. They were just so difficult. You had no error window for error in that game. You would just miss one QTE that came up for a second, and the whole mission would restart because you blew it. And
I was an expert at that game. I kicked its ass.
I'm sure you were fantastic at Spider-Man 3 for the Nintendo Wii. But I was getting war flashbacks to that watching, what is this, Amazing Spider-Man?
Marvel's Spider-Man.
Whatever. I'm sure it's amazing, regardless.
The thing is, like, there is a long history of Spider-Man games having QTEs going back to Spider-Man 3.
yeah.
So it's nothing new. I think they are okay in places.
Yeah, I don't think QTEs are universally bad or anything.
No,
like
but
And
there was definitely a glut of them in the 5-minute window of
We're
gameplay
not-
we saw.
Oh, okay. I got you're still on Spider-Man 3. I thought you were
No.
trying to bring it back again. I'm like, oh, come on.
No.
No, and they've come out and said, you know, obviously this is the part of the game we showed because it plays better at E3 for those people who like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game is very much an open world Spider-Man game. And I have all faith that this will be a pretty good Spider-Man game, which I think is just what it needs right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the Arkham combat and whatnot, but
But I think the Arkham combat honestly works better with Spider-Man because Spider-Man can do so many more things than Batman. And I
mean,
think
it's gonna. I mean, that's not really do in quotes, you know.
he's not just a guy throwing punches and kicks. He can do other shit.
Yeah,
Well,
do
Batman
in
can
quotes,
also
but like,
strike
how much
fear.
are you yourself aren't doing much. I think. I mean, you have some of the environmental stuff to work with, but I'm not really sure how much thought is really being put into that. Like maybe
I think that's a big thing that they're going for.
Yeah, maybe there's some neat stuff you can work with that, but from what I saw, it's just maybe it's just because they needed the gameplay demo to go work fast. But yeah, from what I saw, it was just like, hey, click the highlighted object, and then you get to take out one of the goons immediately. But maybe it's a bit more complicated than that. Maybe it requires a bit more timing.
Even if it just was Arkham Combat lifted from Batman, that's serviceable enough. Like, it's not great, but there's much worse things you could do with combat.
It looks like Miles is going to be a playable character in the game.
Yeah, they said he has more than a cameo. So.
Yeah. I don't dislike Miles at all. I feel like he was a character that was created before they had any ideas for him, though. I think in the hands of a competent writer, Miles can work just fine. It's just, like the reason they introduced him is like, well, we're going to kill Spider-Man and we're going to introduce a Spider-Man that fills a quota, and we don't have any actual stories or like personality for him, but here he is. But I think how long has he been around? He's got like some
It's
stuff.
got to be like a decade at least.
I think he's been around for a decade now. Maybe
It's got to be close to that.
I think he's been around since like 2011.
Really?
Yeah.
Feels longer than that.
Yeah. But yeah, don't mind Miles being in there at all. If like Peter disappears for one point in the game and then Miles becomes Spider-Man, that might be cool.
Yeah, I don't know if we need two Spider-Men in the game.
Is it just a trivial thing for people to become Spider-Man? Like,
No, it's
can anybody
not.
do it?
It's not.
No.
Is this
In
Miles
fact, I think
Morales?
In fact, I think it's like...
Oh my god, he knows his last name. Holy shit.
Spider-Man is one of those characters where I think having another Spider-Man kind of ruins it. He's not like... it's not like a title like Captain America that you just pass on to the next person. I think Spider-Man is Peter Parker, and I've always seen it as that.
The next one should just be the Amazing Spider.
That's it? That's the best she got?
Good stuff.
Also, they better have Bruce Campbell in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I really just want them to have the full-on hint orbs. No.
Those are great! I went around the entire city listening to all of them because they were voiced by Bruce Campbell.
And then you get, like, a special, like, thing when you get them all. He's like, really? You got all these?
And that was before achievements, mind you, and I still did it.
I will say the game, like, as somebody who never really had any interest in this game, the game does have a bit of a early 2000s charm to it. It doesn't seem like a game. It seems like a game from a different time. It's
an HD Spider-Man 2, and if that's what it is, if that's what it ends up being, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Who's developing it again?
Insomniac.
Yeah, and they're pretty good with making actual games. So
they made what's his face, like Electro guy, right?
No, I think that was Sucker Punch.
Well,
Electro guy.
It's not Injustice. That's the fighting game.
Infamous.
No. Yes.
Yeah, they made Infamous. This is okay.
Wait, then what does Sucker Punch make?
They made Infamous.
Oh,
okay. Sucker Punch did make Infamous. Okay.
Yeah. Wait.
What did
Insomniac
Wait, they made Spyro.
They made Spyro.
They made Sunset Overdrive.
Overdrive.
How do you do?
Fellas? Did they make? What was the other one?
Oh, they made that. They made the. Didn't they make that shooter?
No, what was the not Infamous game? The other one.
Yes, Prey.
Prototype, yeah.
Oh, Prototype?
Did they make that?
Yeah, get blown the fuck out, Funk.
No, I was thinking of the thing with the stupid guy in the hoodie on the cover, but I had the title wrong, so I'm fucking retarded.
Hold on.
That was Prototype.
Did they make Infamous? I don't know anymore.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I need... I
Pause the game.
Research needs to be done here. They made Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, there it is.
They made Spyro. They made Spyro. They make Ratchet and Clank. They made Resistance. That's the other game, the Resistance series, which is okay. They're okay Half-Life clones.
Who made Mag?
Oh God!
That's a real question.
Civ action game, baby.
He remembers the acronym.
Everyone remembers because it was so dumb.
What the hell is Song of the Deep?
Mag was made by Zipper Interactive.
Whoa there.
They made the SOCOM games.
I had an uncle who was really into SOCOM, and I distinctly remember sitting in his living room while he was playing one day, and he was on the voice chat with somebody, and he called the map a board. And I was so perplexed, little like 12-year-old me, hearing people refer to levels and maps as boards. And that
when you run into one of those people in real life, it's a fucking trip.
It is. It really is. Just it's like if you just wound up in Brazil and watched the topsy-turvy world that exists there, where everyone is the strange facsimile of a person, but something is off.
Anything else you guys want to talk about from Sony? Do you want to talk about the bad-looking Marvel vs. Capcom character models?
Oh God!
I remember I tried to post like a clip of Chun-Li's walk cycle, but when I did, I think the way IGN formatted the tweet video fucked it up and you couldn't see it. So I was just left with like this really strange-looking post that didn't show anything. And I was too ashamed to really try to edit it. So that's the most I got out of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, whatever it's called.
Yeah,
I love the conspiracy theory that Marvel made them make the Capcom characters look terrible so that the Marvel characters would look better in comparison.
That's a pretty good one.
The faces on Captain Marvel and like Gamora, they look better than Chun-Li's face. So
yeah,
maybe Chun-Li's just retarded. Canonically.
Well, even the male characters, like Dante's face looks fucking terrible too.
Yeah, it is weird looking. It's definitely a case where they're trying to find that success that NetherRealm had with their story modes since Mortal Kombat 9 or 9, yeah, Mortal Kombat 9.
You mean Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. But it's weird because Capcom always has the reputation of making the better fighting games among like the FGC, but NRS has gotten that normie goal with their story modes, and Capcom thinks that just by virtue of having a story mode, they're going to get those same results. And really, you just by comparing them, you can see that NetherRealm puts a lot more effort into those. They also have WB bucks behind them. But again, I guess Capcom would kind of have some Disney bucks behind them, maybe, for this. Doesn't really look like it, but
No,
judging by their
like
judging by their current production values. And they had a trailer, they had a gameplay trailer, and that's what they should have shown on stage. So, because who wants
gameplay
to?
Still looks like Marvel.
Yeah, because who wants to see? Who wants to see this stilted, awkward storytelling? Nobody. That's the answer. It's nobody. I'm sorry I answered for you guys.
Okay, but before we move on though, what about Moss?
What?
It's just are people making a big deal about this fucking rabbit game?
Wait, Moss?
Oh, never mind. Sorry, it's a mouse.
Yeah, it's a mouse. Yeah.
Oh, with what was the name?
The game that after the trailer finished, there was literally no applause whatsoever.
Oh man,
It was a tough crowd that night.
Yeah, Sony clearly did not pay people to be there and clap.
No,
So,
that is one thing. That was one thing I appreciated about the Microsoft conference. At least they cared enough to like put chills in the crowd.
at least they cared enough to lie to us.
Yeah. At least they actually put some amount of effort into it. The Sony conference kind of felt like it was just kind of cobbled together.
Yeah,
It's a bad practice, like paying people to cheer for your games, but at the same time, without it,
It just feels it's just so boring.
There was
the
one
normal
guy vowed
audience
at Days Gone.
yeah. Oh God, fuck that guy.
Wait, was that there?
Yeah.
I thought that was something else.
No, it was Days Gone.
The thing is, you can only hire Frank once to sit in on your conference.
It looked really sad.
The other, 4,999 seats, that's just up for grabs.
Poor Frank.
I liked it.
The thing is, Frank doesn't know why he's getting bodied here, so it's fine.
He'll never know.
And we better not tell him.
All right.
So I just wanted to say I looked up this Moss game with this dumb mouse, and so apparently it's actually being made by ex-Bungie developers.
Oh my God.
The same people who went on to make Destiny. This is such a lineage.
What a fucking God, how depressing must that be? To be
know.
a top of your game making the goddamn Halo series. And then now it's like, we're making this mouse game for VR.
Maybe they wanted to make Moss.
Hey, remember when those guys left Retro Studios to make their own studio and then made Recore and it was a fucking disaster?
Thank
That
you,
happened.
thank you, Inafune.
Remember when we were watching the Moss trailer and Matt's like, "Wow, this is a Redwall game," and everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I think Colin was the only one who knew what I was talking about.
I thought I said Redwall first, and then Matt was the one who responded like Redwall sucks.
I don't care.
No. What happened was, I think it was you, Colin. You said something. I was thinking it. You said it first, and I was like, "Yeah, it looks like that."
I'm saying what we're all thinking.
And then I said to myself, and then I said to you, I tried reading those books recently as an adult, and I was like, "Wow, this is a book for babies."
You can't just dismiss everything by calling it X for babies.
I mean, it literally is.
It's my best
This is
meme.
a game about anthropomorphic, or a book. It's a fucking book about anthropomorphic animals. It's literally for children.
It's cute. It's cute, but it's when the tone of voice that the book uses is so goddamn childish.
Is Conker's Bad Fur Day for children?
Yes, it literally is.
It really is.
No, they wouldn't let you buy it if you were under 18.
Yeah, the man wouldn't, but it was
the game's box art has a disclaimer that says definitely not for children.
Which is what's gonna make children want it the most.
I mean, the game's humor is like exactly what a kid would want. And it's exactly what I would want.
Steve, are you still sitting there as a 30x-year-old giggling about this big giant pile of poo?
I've never played Conquer.
I mean, I don't know about you, Funk, but I am.
I've never played Conker's Bad Fur Day, so I have no attachment to it. But I did play the Conker game for Game Boy Color, and boy was it difficult. And that's all I gotta say about that.
That game still had the old Conker before they changed him.
Oh my god.
Funk,
Yeah.
pop question.
Sure. Pop.
What was the original name of Conker's Bad Fur Day before they changed it?
God. Nutty Sunday? I don't know.
It's called 12 Tales Conker 64.
See, I knew that in the back of my mind somewhere. I've heard that before, but I was not man enough to recall it.
That's a shame.
Not even man enough to blink it.
Well, we're going to take one last break here, and then we'll come back and tell you how Nintendo saved E3.
I'm going to go pee.
Welcome back once again to the Sonic Board podcast. We're going to wrap things up now with Nintendo. Boy, was that a good conference? Not really. But
What do they call it?
Instructional
Spotlight?
video?
what did they call it? Yeah, it was like Nintendo Spotlight.
Nintendo Spotlight. I think that's what they're calling
They call
the...
it something different every year, but either way, I think I still kind of like this, like compared to like the big press conferences. Like it's less bullshit, other than the couple time Reggie comes on and just talks about nothing for 2 minutes.
The game is fun.
If it's not fun, then why bother? These words, okay, but for real, I don't think knew. I don't think he knew, or anyone who wrote that knew, like how much that would ring true this E3.
Before we talk about any of the actual games, I want to talk about the stupidest part of this Nintendo Spotlight thing, where they brought in the guy from the Pokemon Company to essentially apologize for the last Direct. It's like, guys, we're totally good for the next Pokemon game on Switch. It's coming. Don't freak out anymore.
That's funny.
Where they
he's
clearly filmed that right before this and just stuck it in there somewhere.
Yeah, because there's no gameplay, there was no art, there was no logo. It was just, there's a game, and it exists, I promise you.
We're doing something, guys. I know you're, we did this Prokin tournament. Just calm down.
And obviously, we never talked about that Direct, but the dumbest thing about that, I don't care if you want to put new games on the 3DS, but why can't you also just port them to Switch? Is it that difficult that you can't do that? Because I would have totally been down for buying those quote-unquote new Sun and Moon games on Switch, but I have no desire to buy them on 3DS.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really not down for buying Pokemon third versions, just because I'm being packaged and sold a version of the game that should have been the normal version of the game, and it feels like they just intentionally withheld content to release later as a fully priced game.
I agree, but at the same time,
it's okay when Pokemon does it.
No, but one of the reasons why like Moon version is my least played Pokemon game ever is because I was kind of tired of the 3DS when it came out, so I just played through the game until I beat it and then I was done. But I would totally play through even more of those games if they were on Switch, because I really like the Switch and I want games to play on my Switch. I know it's kind of dumb, the fact that, it's just a different console would make me play it more, but, that's the case. I would rather have these games on Switch. And the fact that they're not is the entire reason why they're not getting my money for them.
Well, I'll certainly have fun pirating them.
You can't do that.
You can do that on 3DS, my man.
I think he means morally. Morally, you can't do that.
You see, the fact that didn't register at all.
Alright, so where do you guys want to start with this?
What did they even talk about during this fucking conference? I mean, we can just blow our load first, but I don't think that's
let's not blow our load just yet.
Right, well, I have nothing to say about them, but let's just get Metroid out of the fucking way.
No, dude, we're not gonna get Metroid out of the way. We're gonna start at where they start.
You want to talk about Xenoblade?
Well, Monk's already opened the Metroid.
No, let's talk about Xenoblade. Let's talk about Xenoblade Chronicles X2 Return of Lightning.
Let's talk about this less exciting.
No, so Shulk comes out and he's like, "We kept you waiting, huh?"
that time I Shulk. Right. So we have the most meme girl of E3 appearing here. Listen here.
Listen to me.
I hate that I'm always this guy on these podcasts. Because it always feels like I'm this guy. Alright? I ain't got no issue with big ol' assets, alright? But I have to ask the question. How seriously is this game going to take itself? And how much am I going to be distracted when 2 seconds after a melodramatic scene we get some hey kids, you like tits? Huh?
There's nothing wrong with tits, Colin.
Unless they're too big.
No. Not even.
I mean look,
Funk, wait, no, shut up. Funk, you're body shaming right now.
Okay, everybody stop. Steve's got to go to bat.
Look, I think if you were to take a reasonable poll of reasonable people from across the reasonable planet, you would find that in a popularity poll, that DFC is going to come out ahead most of the time.
Okay, no, I don't believe that.
Even if I believed you, I don't want every character to look the same. I like that there are characters who look different. And I agree with you. So you can have some amount of DFC, a couple A cups, and maybe even a B cup. But once it goes beyond that, then it's just no. That's not how that works, Funk.
Then it's just too much.
Hey, Funk, I don't know if you know this. I don't know what kind of women you date, but there are women in the real world.
You know what kind of women I date.
I do, actually, but there are women in the real world with very large breasts. They do exist.
They might as well not exist.
I've seen them. Trust me on this.
Steve's an expert, boys.
Trust
me. The first Xenoblade, it had I'm not going to say it had completely unique character design to it, but it had a bit more of a distinct look to it than this new one.
Which is clearly just anime.
You look at the Fire Emblem trailer they had later, and you can see that this is just not as good as an anime art style as that. Even if the Fire Emblem trailer is even less distinct than what the Xenoblade has become now, the Fire Emblem designs look a lot better to me. I mean, Xenoblade was already kind of, if you guys have ever played Xenoblade Chronicles, it's quite the fashion disaster because it's one of those games where no matter what armor you put on, they'll actually be wearing that in the cutscene.
Oh no. It's just another Master Sword moment.
Yes, this is a pulling out the Master Sword in the heat-proof armor moment.
What about the fish armor?
That wouldn't be that bad if you pulled out the Master Sword in the fish armor.
Really? Not I'm talking about like the thunder resistant one. I don't know. Okay. I guess.
Oh my god, you mean the rubber one?
Yes, yeah, the rubber.
Yeah, if you had the fish head on, then yeah, you'd probably look pretty dumb. Yeah, it would ruin the moment for you pretty badly. But yeah, the look of Xenoblade 2 right now I don't think it looks as good as Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't think the localization sounds. I mean, we didn't really hear like a big sample of it. But if you ever play Xenoblade Chronicles 1, or just watch it or anything, Adam Howden does an incredible job as Shulk. Okay. I know you guys, especially Steve and Funk. There's definitely a stigma against dubs here.
Yeah, we're retarded.
We're the ones who are wrong.
No. I'm not. I didn't say you guys were wrong. I'm just saying that Adam Howden gives a great performance, and you can hear this guy exerting himself in the new guy that they have, and they, to their credit, they did get like an English guy. I think he sounds like Northern English to voice the character, although a lot of the other people sound American. I
mean, to be fair, I assume they had the same voice actor in Smash Brothers.
Adam Howden?
Was it the same Shulk? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the Shulk voice in Smash, not that he had a really wide range in that game.
Yeah.
But just from what I heard, it seemed really good.
Yeah, but anyway, motherfucker is just unhinged when he screams, right? And you compare this new guy, and sounds like, he's getting really fired up over a video game.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The main character's voice is not good.
But again, I've mentioned this before, but Xenoblade does really have that offline MMO type of combat, and if you're not down for that, then you're probably not quite down for this game, unless it has a lot of that world interactivity that they have in Zelda now. But that wasn't really present in Xenoblade X, which is the more recent game. So I'm not so sure about Xenoblade 2 myself.
Let me tell you the only thing that matters about Xenoblade 2, Colin. The character designed pissed off NeoGAF, and therefore, I will buy this game as long as it's not censored to hell.
Is this the game that had the girl with the breasts?
I completely respect that.
I'm a petty man, but I have my values, and I'm sticking to them.
Well, the good news now is that even if they do censor it, you can just port it from Japan, since they're
as long as like the Japanese version here works with English subtitles, that'd be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Although I did enjoy how happy Colin got when it showed up, and he was like, "They're bongs." Okay, let's talk about Metroid Prime 4.
Hey, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing shown. Just
hey, the hypest you'll ever get over a fucking number.
Can I just talk about how bad Metroid Prime is for a second?
I mean, you can, but you'll be wrong.
I tried to play Metroid Prime. I played it on the GameCube. I didn't play the Wii version. Maybe it was an error of me, but it's just so boring, and it's just so slow, and the controller is just so bad for that kind of game. Like, I'm sorry that I'm not into Autistic Scanning Simulator.
The scanning was the best part.
I like
the scanning.
100%.
But even putting that aside, just trying to navigate the game with the GameCube controller was one of the most troublesome things I've done in my 25 some odd years on this planet.
That game is perfectly made for the GameCube controller.
I honestly think it really is. Like, the game utilizes that controller perfectly.
And it's like when I played the Wii version with motion controls, and like, this works, but it's not the same.
Like, I recognize that it was designed to fit the controller, and concessions weren't made for it. But it just feels like the game could have been better had it just started on another console. And obviously it wouldn't be in a Nintendo property, but if they had access to a real second analog stick,
the thing is, you don't need to look around in that game. You don't really need to look around.
You don't. Everything's designed with it in mind, but it still just feels a little cumbersome. And let's be fair, I haven't played it in 7-8 years. But that was my distinct feeling when I first tried to get into it, and I just couldn't get very far into the game without...
All this is over my head because I only played the trilogy version of the games.
I played the original GameCube version a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. And when I tried to play the Wii version, I just couldn't get into the motion controls.
Yeah, the motion controls are superfluous in the Wii version because you don't really need to look or aim at anything.
Yeah, that's like I just didn't like how the motion controls work.
Now, granted, you can play Metroid. You can play Metroid Prime 3 because that game was built ground up with the Wii motion controls, and it is a lot more of a shooter than 1 and 2.
Okay.
Was 3 a Wii game or a GameCube game?
It was a Wii
game.
Okay.
10 years ago.
That was the impetus behind releasing the trilogy, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
That came much later, but yeah. Either way, I'm really excited about this game. They don't even have to show anything. The fact that it exists, I have confidence in them.
Even with it being another developer?
Yeah, even with it not being Retro Studios, which, of course, adds further questions of what the fuck is Retro doing.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was waiting all week for someone to ask Nintendo that, and I never saw any news story or anything about them asking
Aren't they
Nintendo.
making the Samus Returns remake?
No,
No.
they're not.
Oh, I thought they were.
No.
I'm dumb.
No, that's being done by I forget what their name is.
They're called
but...
Mercury Steam. They made the Lords of Shadow games.
Wow. It's a great lineage, really.
They don't have a good pedigree, but at the same time, that game actually looks really good.
And people who played it said it plays good. So
what is the draw behind the Metroid Prime games? Is it the gameplay? Is it the exploration and the atmosphere?
It's
like
exploring an alien world. That's
okay.
Largely what it is.
Looking up at the rain.
I mean, that was a great moment in fucking 2001 or 2002.
Yeah. Game looked ahead of its time. All right. But when because I was watching it with Steve and Matt, and I don't think I've ever been in a room so hyped up over a video game. But then when we saw that fucking JPEG file, we were all actually raising our voices in hype. And I don't think, when was the last time any of you did that for a video game announcement, like out of the blue?
Oddly enough, when Bayonetta was announced for Smash Bros.
Wow, really?
Go on.
I made a very loud, audible yes when she appeared on screen.
Mine was a wow. Mine was a wow, just like the wow I just gave. It was a wow.
Was it a Japanese foreigner wow?
It was basically a Japanese foreigner wow. Yes.
Love it.
Wow.
I'm very disappointed I missed watching this with you guys.
It was pretty
good
great
on my own time.
It was pretty great.
Because Colin, you when was the last time you've ever been like that excited about a video game? And I have no clue. Like I don't remember. So it would have been nice to at least have experienced that secondhand from you guys.
No, the best part was when like I had the stream just kind of running up in the background after like the actual spotlight ended. And then all of a sudden they were like, "Oh, we're gonna announce this new game." And all of a sudden I'm just like, "Whoa! Wait a minute! There's a second Metroid. There's like another Metroid." Yeah. And then Colin's just like, "Wait a minute! Where's the link? Matt sucks.
But so this isn't. People are saying like, it's just the JPEG or whatever. But we know the game is coming out. Is the thing? It's
we
not
know
like
Nintendo is good for it.
Yeah,
we know. This isn't like the Beyond Good and Evil 2 situation
or Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, or Shenmue 3.
Where like
this isn't crowdfunding.
Yeah. Nintendo when Nintendo announces something, they're gonna come out.
Like they follow through with it, even in situations where they have to completely scrap what they had and put out something new.
Yeah.
Which is what they did recently with that fucking SMT Fire Emblem game. Like that was not what it was originally intended to be.
Yeah.
Didn't that thing just disappear for 2 years or so?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. What else was there besides our ending note?
There was 2 games with great titles. One called Yoshi, one called Kirby.
Yoshi probably had the worst job in the world of following up the Metroid Prime 4 announcement.
That was actually kind of funny. You have Metroid Prime, like you had the big drop of Metroid Prime 4. It's coming. We're making it. And then next up, I
just want to know how Yoshi has gotten pigeonholed to always being a game made out of like 2nd grade dioramas.
It's actually a game for babies.
I don't mind the style. It's weird that it's exclusively Yoshi every time.
Yeah. Matt and I are cool guys who played and enjoyed Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yoshi's Woolly World is phenomenal. It's
actually great, and I'm sure Omega agrees.
Our sole listener agrees.
And then there's Kirby. Kirby is the old reliable of video games.
See, I disagree with that. Like, they made, I think it was Return to Dreamland on the Wii, right? That was like the 4-player co-op game that was a return to form for Kirby games. And I just find Kirby so entirely uninteresting. Like, I recognize
he's not a very deep character.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. This is the gameplay that was in the old games for the most part, and I recognize that, but I just, whenever they announce a new Kirby game or I look at the old ones, it just doesn't look fun at all, and I play them and they're just not fun. For me personally,
I always love scouring every level for the collectibles and whatnot and getting the best ending in Kirby games.
Kirby Superstar is pretty great. I actually really like Dreamland 2 a lot on the Game Boy.
Yeah, I really like going up against all the bosses in Kirby games without the powers.
Oh yeah, and 64 is really good too. Like 64 is fantastic.
This game honestly seems like the sequel to that game because it has the power mixing from that game.
Yeah, it has the power mixing. You get to play as Poppy Bros Jr.
Yeah, I own a copy of Kirby 64, and I've never played it in my life.
It's really good.
Is it good?
It's really good. It's actually pretty. It can actually get, like, out of all the Kirby games, it's actually probably one of the more difficult ones. There's a lot of moments in the game where, like, there are a lot of like instant death hazards in that game that are very not prominent in other Kirby games. It can get pretty hard.
Well, that is one of the problems I've had with other Kirby games I've played, is just how, like, obviously it's a game for babies. It's not supposed to be a gauntlet.
Yeah, like, that's, like, the whole point of the Kirby series is that they're meant for a younger audience.
Yeah, so I'm not going to, like, dock it heavily for that, but just the fact that they're so easy is just another reason they're not very interesting to me.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Rewind the podcast.
What?
Isn't this the same man who defended easy games just like a few hours ago? Isn't these
what, during the Uncharted discussion?
No, during the Rabbids discussion.
What did I say? Because I don't remember.
Drunk evidence is all over the place.
You said something about how, like,
I'm literally
it's like
drunk.
XCOM, but like it's like an XCOM for baby games, and there's nothing wrong with it being on the easier side of things. Yeah, you mentioned Captain Toad and how it, like, never really ramps up in difficulty.
I mean, I literally just said it's a game for babies, so I'm not going to dock it for being easy. But it's just a reason why I don't find it to be as interesting as it could be. I'm not saying it's bad because of that, just that it just doesn't grab me for that reason.
Funk has only so many slots he can fill with games for babies before it gets full.
Kirby's definitely in there, and you cannot argue that. But,
I can understand why people wouldn't be that interested in Kirby.
Yeah, as much of a cop-out as it is, a lot of the Kirby games I'll say are not bad games. Like, they're fine, they're good. It's just they're not for me. Like, that's such a non-answer. But
I will say, in all honesty, I think Kirby is actually probably one of my favorite video game series, just in general.
It's a shame we don't have a resident Kirby expert here to defend this franchise.
Yeah, if only Omega was here. Like,
is Omega? Is he?
No.
Oh wait,
it's Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, it is Frank?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He actually buys every Kirby game.
I mean, okay. I guess me and Frank just share a lot of opinions, but he just cucks all the titles from me.
What are you the expert of, Matt?
I don't know. He's the Paper Mario guy, even though I also love Paper Mario. He's the Kirby guy, even though I also love Kirby.
You see, Frank is more down on his luck, so it's like you want to subscribe more titles to him.
Well, he's also more autistic about these things than Matt is. So
I mean, Matt's the KyoAni guy.
Oh yeah, I guess I am.
Yeah, there he is. His true identity.
We love
Yo,
Matt.
Manny.
Are we here yet? Are we
No,
going to talk about the thing?
there's got to be something else.
I know there's Fire Emblem Warriors, but I don't...
No, we're not talking about that. Fuck that.
Not my alley.
There was Rocket League for Nintendo Switch,
Oh boy. With
There was
crossplay.
Mario and Luigi's remake.
which wasn't on the thing, but yeah.
Was that? Wait, what?
Okay,
yeah.
so after
I'm
the
really
presentation,
interested in that.
They showed a 3DS remake of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, and it's
That's
just
the first one,
game.
and it's the best one.
It's upgraded with the graphic style of the last two Mario and Luigi games, one on 3DS. And there's also a side story called Bowser's Minions, where you play as Bowser's Minions attempting to rescue Bowser, because there's that part in the game where Bowser gets stolen, or something, and you just play as his minions to get Bowser back.
I've never played a Mario and Luigi game that I have not at some point said, this is way too long.
The first game isn't, honestly, the first game isn't
Okay,
that
well,
long.
the couple that I've played, though, there's at one point in the game where it's just, I wish this would end, and I drop it, and I don't finish it.
They have been
No.
getting progressively longer, yes.
Because I played the second one, Partners in Time. That was way too long.
I don't care what anybody says. Partners in Time is fucking great.
No, I enjoy my time with them. It's just my time with them ends before the game does.
Partners in Time is like the shortest one.
Really?
I don't
Because
know.
I got to the
takes, like,
fight with I think it's like Cackletta. I think I might be the final boss.
What?
Yeah, the
That's
final
the
boss
first
in that
one.
game takes forever.
Yeah, and I lost, I don't know, some amount of time into the final boss, and I died. I'm like, oh, all right, I've had my fun with this game. I'm done.
That's
I'm not
that's
redoing this.
Princess Shroob.
At least you almost made it to the end there.
But
I-
Bowser's Inside Story, which was the next
Bowser's Fetish Catalog.
It's
Wait,
only like Bowser's Inside Story is only like 20 hours.
is
I
that the
think
one
it's
on the 3DS where you like turn it sideways?
DS? But yeah,
No.
Wait, what was the one on
That's-
3DS?
3DS
Dream
is Dream
Team and
Team.
Paper
That's
Jam.
Oh, that was the
Dream
Dream was,
Team.
Dream
Dream
Team-
Team is the one that's like 40 hours long, and it's way too fucking long, and it gets really, really obnoxious.
Dream Team was the one that I played. I got to like the desert area and just had to cancel.
oh my god, that's so
Done.
early in the game too.
Dream Team is not very good.
I liked it. It
It's-
was. I wish it was just done.
The pacing is terrible. The length is terrible. It's a good game that just drags on.
It's
Honestly.
twice the length of what it should be.
It is, yeah.
See,
Like Mario, like Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, and Bowser's Inside Story are all around like 15 to 20 hours long, which is exactly how long they should be.
What's up,
Anyone
Fluke?
here play Paper Jams?
this is
No.
this is a complete digression from what we're talking about, but it'll take like but a second. So
Go ahead.
I just want you to know you're famous, which you may already be aware of. So this person that I recommended the podcast to,
Oh no.
just they were like, what YouTube channel's on? So I told them, and they're like, oh yeah, I've already listened to like video game music on that channel before,
Oh my
and this
god.
this is just some rando normie.
Oh my god.
So just so you know, you're internet famous.
Oh god.
I don't know how to feel about that.
What's funny, now that you mention it, I remember actually seeing like forum posts. Like, remember when you're like, wasn't there a point where your YouTube account was like suspended or something?
My original account got banned.
Yeah, and like I remember
Yes.
reading forum posts, people saying like, "Oh no, DeoxysPrime's YouTube got banned."
That one guy made the downfall parody about me.
Oh my god. Yeah, didn't he make like a Hitler parody?
yeah, that's
Oh my
exactly
God.
what it was.
That's great. How many views does that have?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
That many.
Steve probably watched it like a few hundred times.
I was more well known than when I had half of the followers that I have now. It's weird. Anyways, this isn't about me. This is about Mario Odyssey.
Oh my
It
god,
doesn't-
we're
it
finally
doesn't have
going
that
there.
many views. It has 6,000 views.
Oh my god.
Save me, Nintendo.
You know what has over 6 million views?
What,
Oh,
Mario
God.
Mario
Odyssey?
Odyssey trailer from this year's E3.
Yeah, baby. Oh my gosh.
So,
Actually updated. It currently has almost 9 million views.
oh my god. So you're talking about earlier about, like, new announcements that kind of make you go crazy at E3. This is something I knew about that also ended up completely flooring me.
Yeah.
Because this, like, as soon as they showed the possession mechanic, I was like, okay, this game is the Mario version of Breath of the Wild. Like, that's what this game is. It's...
Right up there on the clickbait headline, man. There it is.
But it's like...
Is Mario Odyssey the Breath of the Wild?
You're
video
missing
game?
all caps and like 5 question marks.
I need something in brackets, too. Must see.
But no, I agree. It's like the complete next step of previous Mario games. Just like this was a step beyond all previous Zelda games for Breath of the Wild. Exactly.
And as soon as they announced it and they were like, okay, well, yeah, this is actually going to be like a follow-up to the style of game that Mario 64 was. And I was like, you kind of already did that and it didn't go so great. So if you just do that again, but bigger and better, I don't think it's going to work. And to my surprise, they found something completely new that offers so many different possibilities of playing through this game that no one expected. And maybe we should expect the unexpected when it comes to Mario games, because it always just comes out of left field. Like, we know they're going to be good, but they always end up way, way better than we even expect.
Yeah, I guess
I remember when they showed off 3D World, and
oh my god,
no one
3D
was really
World
impressed with that.
They showed off that trailer, and it was like it was very lukewarm reception. And then that second trailer came out, and everyone was like, well, fuck, I'm on board.
Yeah, and it's kind of similar to this, even though I thought the first trailer for this game was really good. I like the premise of Mario going to these semi-realistic worlds is kind of an interesting hook, but this is just so much more in terms of what you can actually do with the game.
So I haven't seen that much from it. I watched the Nintendo Spotlight, and I think I watched about 5 minutes of a demo before I was like, all right, I'm going to buy this. I'm just going to
That's more than I watched.
Yeah.
So I watched the trailer and I said, I can't watch any more of this.
So I think we're all on the same page here that we know far less than anybody who's actually discussing this game does. So great podcast, 10 out of 10.
Well, I have watched a little bit more, probably.
Okay, but it's just from the surface level that we've kind of absorbed by this point. It's the kind of return to form that we've all wanted, right? Where you look at the more linear based gameplay of Galaxy and 3D World, and it's the revival of the Sunshine /64 openness, which is what I've been wanting the whole time. Like I've said before on podcasts that 3D World is my favorite Mario game, but I've still been wanting a return to the earlier open world stuff.
Right.
And I'm so excited to finally get it.
Yeah, and for me, it's more that, like, I didn't necessarily want this, but I also felt like it was time for them to do something else.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Even if something else is going back to what they did before.
It's my hope that, you have those open, expansive levels with different objectives in them, and then you also have, from the more contemporary linear games, that tighter platforming challenge that they've learned to do.
Well, you'll be very happy when it comes out, I believe, Colin.
Awesome.
It's a very, based off of what I've seen, there's a very nice blend of 3D World-esque stuff and classic Mario 64 like openness.
Yeah,
it's a very very good blend.
So if Metroid was like the biggest concentrated burst of hype we had, Mario Odyssey gave us the most just sustained afterglow of joy.
Oh my god!
When he fucking possessed the real ass person, I was losing it. So like, as soon as they show him possessing the enemies, I was like, okay, this is the fun mechanic. This is like kind of like your power up system for the game. I never expected them to go as far as they did.
So you could just possess anything, I guess.
You can possess a pole in the city.
You can't.
It's a random ass pole.
You can't possess every enemy. There are special enemies.
Well, they actually said that there's a rule in the game that you cannot possess anything else with a hat.
Yes.
So
that's the thing.
Possess
that
Bowser.
makes sense because they wear your hat when you possess them.
Yes.
And you can't wear two hats. Ridiculous.
The only way to possess an enemy with the hat is to find a way to take off their hat. Which
is great. And it's why you can't possess Bowser, although I'm sure during the final boss there'll be some mechanic where you try to possess Bowser.
And like that's such a great amount of like internal logic that's so ridiculous, but is just perfect for this kind of game.
Only Nintendo, baby.
So because it's like, of course he's already wearing a hat. Like, of course he can't wear the Mario hat. Why would he?
So speaking of like, I remember before we were talking about just like poorly shitty trailers and stuff. Like, talk about a trailer that is just pure Kino.
Yeah.
In every way.
I would argue that it's just straight up the best video game trailer I've ever seen.
Like, it is.
I know that's a bold statement.
I can't even fight that.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, the music, obviously.
The music sells the whole thing too.
The music, for starters. Just like how it starts. It starts with the bait and switch. This T-Rex. And then all of a sudden you have the Mario hat on it.
If you see people's reactions to that, everyone thought it was Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Right. And then
we thought it was Monster Hunter.
And then it's like when Mario pops up, that instant, you know, okay, this is way different than we've ever seen Mario before.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Is that like none of these other trailers have that hook right at the start like that?
Right.
Like immediately, it demands your attention.
And what's brilliant about this trailer is that it tells you everything you need to know about the game in its 2 minutes of length. Like, you see him possess the frog. Like, it introduces the mechanic with the frog. You see him possess the Goomba, the Hammer Bro, and then
you start seeing him possess objects.
It just escalates, and then you know exactly what the game has to offer, and you know exactly what the game is.
It's
without anybody coming up on stage and saying, "Wow, that was insane! That was so crazy!" And like,
and you know, like every trailer wants to pitch itself as like this big epic experience, or for smaller games it's like, yes, it's a very soulful, very personal journey for you. And it's just like, fuck you, I just want to play a video game.
You put your hat on the frog and then you're the frog.
Yes. That's all I want. Just give me something to play.
Can we just talk about we could probably just have a full fucking podcast about this song because of how goddamn good it is.
I mean, you hear lyrics and there's like that little twinge of apprehension right when the lyrics start, and before it really settles in, you're already high on joy.
What I love about it is that you see in the trailer like Bowser in his like kind of tuxedo getup with the hat. And it helps set the stage for like this kind of big band thing that they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And the song just ties so perfectly into what you're seeing that's already in the game. Because obviously the song came second. And it was just such a smart decision to push the musical direction in that way when you're going to have that featured in the trailer. And it just works incredibly well. I love it.
Have you listened to the full song yet, Funk?
I haven't. I know you posted it. I have not listened to the full thing.
It is...
Tell me it's just like a 12-minute odyssey, pardon the pun.
No, but it is... It's like... It's really good. And it has a really good key change at the end, too.
Oh, well, you know I'm into that.
You just said the magic words.
If it's got hand claps anywhere in it, then I can't.
I don't think it has hand claps. It does have...
You can always add your own.
I really love the... I do really love the backup vocals doing the little echoing during the what's it called? The chorus section and all that. It's just so fucking good.
I really got into it when when the singer kind of brought her voice forward and did a very nasally thing where she kind of drifts upward. I think it was when she says, "Say the word, I'll be there in a flash." I just love that. It's like, "I'll be there in a flash," like that.
Yeah.
Who knew
Love that.
Colin could fucking comment on music when he never
But
does
Funk
during
just got
the...
his dream
during-
wish of hearing Colin talk about music.
Yeah, because it never happens during the anime podcasts.
I can assure you what I just said was just as boring as the anime podcast.
Oh my god. But
The music discussion on the anime podcast is Omega's favorite part, and that's just a fact.
I also just like to mention. So I did listen to more of like the actual gameplay section, like the treehouse section for the game. There's one part where you're fighting the one bunny girl, and the one guy, the developer or whatever, or the treehouse person, just kind of starts kind of talking about the story a little bit, and he's just like, so these people are part of an evil wedding firm. And I'm just like, yes, this is brilliant.
Actual Kino. Oh my gosh. So while Metroid Prime 4 was kind of a huge announcement, this was probably all that really I needed to see for Nintendo to win me over for E3.
Oh yeah.
And say this was the best showing that I saw at E3, because this came right after the heels of the Sony conference. And in truth, the Sony conference I can't say was really that bad. But at the same time, I probably said I hate video games about 5 or 6 times during the Sony conference.
Because you do. And that's the only emotion it fills you with. It's just loathing.
Well, no, Colin, you don't hate video games. These developers actually hate video games because they're failed filmmakers who had to settle for video games. So they make this. So they make games like Days Gone.
Call us Nintendo dick suckers as much as you'd like. We did shit on ARMS in our last podcast. We're very neutral here. Except for Steve.
What does that mean? I didn't like ARMS.
Yeah, Steve hates ARMS.
No, but it's
He
okay
hates his
when
own
Nintendo
ARMS.
does it for Steve.
He's
literally gone on... Steve has gone on record saying it's okay when Nintendo does it.
It is okay when Nintendo does it. Because they do it better. It's just the way it is.
Love it.
Alright. Before we end this podcast, though, we gotta talk about Sonic Forces
Oh my god.
and
No.
Sonic Mania.
No, we don't. We had a podcast. Did we have a podcast about these?
We talked about it in the last one, but, we saw more.
Did we?
Kind of.
People keep posting gameplay videos, and I keep not
And
watching
you keep
them.
not watching them?
Yeah. I just
Honest-
read your comments like, oh wow, this looks very janky.
Honestly, the only ones I've been watching are the custom character ones, because I already know what modern and classic Sonic are going to play like, so who fucking cares? We can talk about the custom one, because it does... Colin
I'm
has
gonna watch
posted a lot about
right
this,
now.
and yeah, it doesn't look great.
Yeah.
It looks... I mean, I knew... We all kind of had to know going into this that it was going to be the weakest of the 3 styles, because whenever they do this other gameplay stuff with Sonic, it tends to be not great. So, even... I just want it to be competent. Maybe it'll be that. There are I think he plays better in, the 3D style than the 2D style.
Gosh,
and
just
it's
watching him explode with the wisps just looked so...
Yeah, and that is another thing about the
Stiff.
game. Why do we really need the fucking wisps here? Really?
Yeah.
But I do like the revelation about this game that it is just everything the fans have asked for. Sega is just stuffing in this game. It is just Dillo said it best. It's a fucking fan fiction game, and I'm totally okay with that. I posted on the board. I am unironically invested in wanting to know what this game's story is, which I haven't been since Sonic 06. And it's I know the Sonic games have never had great story, but I was always kind of invested in them in kind of a dumb way, because I really like the games. So I just hope it's a bit more than Generations' non-story of just an excuse to have things happen. I know a lot of people are upset that all Sonic's friends talk a lot during the gameplay, but I kind of like that stuff.
It's nostalgic now, so it's okay.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be a great game. I don't.
It's really not looking too hot right now.
No, but I don't know. I just want it to be good enough. I just want it to be good enough. I would prefer.
Sounds sadder than it should be.
It should. I would much prefer though that they just go back to making a full 3D Sonic game.
Yeah, I'm much more intrigued by, even if it's of the same quality as Sonic Unleashed, something like of that nature rather than another Generations.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess they kind of did that with Lost World, but not really.
No.
Lost World was such a weird
Lost
thing.
World was an experiment, though, and I appreciate that it was something new, even if it didn't land for me. But
and it was also there were also a lot of 2D segments in Lost World.
Yeah.
Lost World didn't land for most people.
Right. But it was at least parts of it were something different.
Yeah.
Whereas
it tried something and it failed miserably.
Whereas this is basically Generations 2.
Which, to be fair, I did really want like a couple years ago. I thought it was stupid that they didn't follow up on that immediately.
No, now it's been 6 years.
Yeah, and now people are a bit jaded about it, but I don't know. It could still be okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of interested in seeing. I will say, like, again with the story thing, like, is this, like, who is this Mephiles looking guy?
And I noted this earlier. I mean, I'm saying I'm not holding my breath or anything, but I'm saying this is their chance. This is their actual chance to take the actual the people who can actually write dialogue that they've had, right?
Yeah.
And then make them actually write a story.
Uh-huh.
You might be able to have the best of both worlds here.
There's potential.
But it is Sonic.
I really hope that this like new Mephiles guy is just like Mephiles' son or something really stupid like that. Just something absurdly stupid and fan fiction-y. That would just be perfect.
I mean, the most common theory I've seen, which I don't necessarily subscribe to, but he's just like the evil version of your custom character.
Oh.
Oh no.
That's not as interesting, but...
No, it's not. But they're not going to make Mephiles' son.
What about his wife's son?
Because
then it doesn't necessarily need to be genetically related to Mephiles, who's been erased from the timeline. So it could be his wife's son.
It's like in The Simpsons when Frank Grimes' son came back to kill Homer.
Wait, did that happen?
That actually happened.
Is this one of those seasons we don't talk about?
It was like season 14 or 15 or something like that.
So yes.
Yes.
Oh my god. But yeah, like, I mean...
At least what... Go ahead, Matt.
It's just weird because this guy, like, it's probably not Mephiles, but he has the exact same pose.
He does feel very Mephiles.
And he looks exactly like Mephiles, only
Mephiles?
now he has Sephiroth hair.
Yeah. I'm gonna take some time to appreciate how Sonic it doesn't give up on characters from failed games.
Yeah, I do appreciate the fact that they're actually bringing back Mr. Deadly Six guy. Like,
I mean, there's only
I
so
bet
many villains in the Sonic canon.
It's
You
just
gotta
kind of
dig pretty deep.
Yeah,
it's just kind of funny because I can only imagine like people seeing like that villain trailer for the game and it's like Chaos, Shadow, who's the other one that
Metal Sonic.
See, you've
Metal
already
Sonic.
run out of iconic.
Metal Sonic, and then it's like, who's this
Zavok.
guy? Who's this guy?
Zavok, that's his name, I think.
Is he like the big red one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not that big red one, mind you.
So, seeing that did make me hopeful that they're not just gonna stop there and they just start introducing like other Sonic characters at random points to the game. Like if Chip showed up,
Oh god.
as much as I hate Chip, I think that would be hilarious.
So what's the official wish list of forgotten
Everything.
Sonic characters? No, we gotta have a distinct list.
You gotta have Ray and Mighty there.
At the top,
They have to have.
Wait, who's Ray and Mighty? I know these
Ray
names. And Mighty the
Mighty
Armadillo,
the-
but who's Ray?
Ray the Flying Squirrel. They were in Sega Sonic the arcade game.
Oh, is he
But-
the yellow one?
Yes, they need like a scene where they're only on screen for like a second, and then they just move on from that.
At the top of my list is Omega, the actual Omega, not. I don't
Not
want
the
a guy
robot.
from the Sonic Board.
No, not the
having a
robot, but
cameo.
the poster from the Sonic Board.
They also need to have the gun commander.
Oh
We
god.
don't need the gun commander.
We need Mr. President.
Remember,
I'll take Mr. President.
you mean the same president who has a picture of Sonic and Shadow on his desk?
That he could not have possibly had.
Where did he take that? It's like what? So they weren't friends for that entirety of Sonic Adventure 2 until the very end. So it's not like they took a picture together, right? And then
Yeah.
Shadow comes back and he's all broody about who he is. So like, did he take some time to take a picture with Sonic?
I mean,
that
it's
time
like
period?
it's like when someone wins the Super Bowl and they invite that team to the White House for a picture with the president. It's basically that, but with Sonic characters.
What was the name of the guy who sold you the shoes at the beginning of 06?
Alberto Robert.
He should be in there.
Of course, Steve knows.
Alberto
We have
Robert.
Lacey Chabert in the game, but not as Elise, just as Lacey
Oh my
Chabert.
Well,
He was-
at that point, we need Danica Patrick too.
No,
Yeah,
you gotta
no.
have you gotta have the archaeologist who you have to protect in that one mission in Sonic 06.
Oh my god, what was her name? I don't
Not everyone's
remember.
gonna know, Steve.
No, but
I don't think she has
feel-
a name. I think she's
She
just
does. She
archaeologist.
absolutely does because it's in the name of the mission, and I feel bad about not remembering.
Hold on.
I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and check the community thread, and Steve's gonna be like, "It was this."
I'm gonna look it up with Matt right now.
Godspeed, you two. We need the captain from the Eponymous
Yes.
mission. Who's the captain?
Fucking Dennis Hopper. Oh, her name is Anna.
Oh,
Do you mean Anna?
Do you mean Farah?
Do you mean Farah?
Their Farah killed our Farah.
Who was the one who did that?
That was me.
Oh my god.
And he's the sheriff.
Man, Sonic games suck. This one's
What
gonna
about- what
suck
about-
too.
What about Sonic Mania? That
Mania looks good. Mania looks good. Bye, Mania.
When I saw that thing about the fucking Mean Bean Machine boss fight, I was like, what the fuck else is gonna be in this game? Because if that's in there, nothing's off limits.
Go purchase Sonic Mania, guys.
You can get off on floors 1, 2, 3, or Mania.
Don't forget Knuckles.
What's on the Knuckles floor?
Here I come.
Can we just get together and play Get Blue Spheres for fucking hours on end? Is that the most
God.
pure Sonic game?
oh god.
When are they gonna release Get Blue Spheres HD?
Oh man.
Kenny unironically loves that game.
I watched a guy play Get Blue Spheres for 24 hours.
Is Kenny the last actual Sonic fan on the Sonic board?
You might
I-
be.
Yeah, I was gonna say me for a second, but then I reconsidered. Also, Funky did not watch that guy for 24 hours straight.
No, but I mean, I checked in now and again.
Yeah. Who was part of that? I know it was Worcester and Dark DSS.
I mean, DSS did it by himself for 24
Oh,
hours.
he did recently. Yeah, he did it again. He did do it again recently. But that it's amazing how comfy that can be.
It's amazing.
Truly amazing.
Yeah, the best part of this E3 was watching somebody stream Get Blue Spheres like a month before E3 happened.
Well, we did it. We made it through another E E3.
Somehow. It's getting harder every year. Like, let's say, what were there, 6 conferences?
Yeah.
During, let's say, 4.5 of them, 5.5 of them, the overwhelming sensation I was filled with was, wow, I hate video games. Like, if we hadn't watched these together for the past 6 or 7 years, I would not be able to do it. Like, it's just out of obligation. It's so hard.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have fun if you're still in Japan a year from now watching them in the middle of the night.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's 2 a.m. Better fucking log on to watch Ubisoft talk about Just Dance 27. Meanwhile, you guys are like, oh yeah, I still got my whole day to look forward to, and I'm like, I got work in 30 minutes. Life sucks.
Life's hard for everyone. All right, that's gonna wrap it up, guys.
All right.
What do we even say to cap this off?
Hey, Cap, it's a funny Mario Odyssey reference. Video game.
Cut
Hey,
the
did
tape right now!
No, wait, before we go, do you know what the name of the possession mechanic in Mario Odyssey is called?
Mind break?
Capture.
Ah, God.
That's it, we're done.